Get 'em, Jimmy, where low shack at? The bottle's getting empty up the crack and we stacking chips. All of it's what I want, plus money winners, that's what I'm on. You can say I'm gone, I prefer elevated pub sports radio. Time to get educated, get produced, lead the juice, letting loose with so much abuse that the bookies wanna call it truth. They getting slaughtered, can't forget Jeff and low baggers in the chat. That's a lethal weapon, 'cause we be pubbing.
What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Thursday, November 3rd to all of you. Thank you for watching Betting with the Bag right here on Pub Sports Radio. Huge weekend ahead of us. We're 24 hours away from Breeders' Cup Friday. I also was told by the wife that she's taking the family away for the weekend because she knows what's going to happen in this room. There's going to be a lot of boozing. There's going to be a lot of screaming. And I need to focus solely on our equine athletes. Oh, Brian Palmer. Thank you. Great call on Pittsburgh first period and Houston at the half. 2-0 last night. Thank you for the dono. I love it. God, it was funny. As soon as I heard that the family was going to be gone for a weekend, I started feeling a little better. Not quite so sick now. I'm pumped up, man. I'm fucking pumped up. We broke down that baseball game fucking beautifully. Cashed on Houston first five. I came in with the plan to move on the first five under 3.5. After discussing it, I realized the bullpens have been so good, you should take the full game under 7.5. And then discussing it more and more, I was like, the only person I truly believe in, is Christian Javier. That's it. In life, I only believe in Christian Javier. So we took Astros, first five, gorgeous. Penn's first period, gorgeous. Then we split in college football. Bowling Green -5 was the first bet I've made against the Sharps in a few weeks. I was shocked when Western Michigan kicked the field goal to make it 13-9. A completely useless field goal. I couldn't believe it. I just couldn't. I thought, what could the coach possibly be thinking other than covering the spread for his friends? Kicked the field goal with like 5 minutes left. It made no fucking sense. It changed nothing in the game. But I cashed on Western Michigan team total under 20.5, so I lost a tiny bit of vig. And then in NBA, it was disappointing. The idea to bet the over in the Wizards-Sixers game if Embiid wasn't in, I don't know. I know that game started at 6. I should have known it started at 6. All of a sudden, it's like quarter after 6. I'm like, oh, God. I fucking start panicking. But Kings plus 6.5 cash. Hawks first quarter lost. What a wild sport. You have a team down by 20, then up by 20 in like 10, 15 minutes. Hornets plus 4.5 lost. Mavs minus 6.5 lost. And Razor was damn right on that one. But then cash Grizzlies first half minus 2.5 with ease. And was a little fortunate to cash the Lakers plus 3. It did help my night of feeling good about myself and studying horses. And I did laugh when Ryan hit that 3 and point. I don't know. Felt good. That is where we are right now. Breeders' Cup tomorrow and Saturday. I'll have the house to myself so I can lose my shit. I'm going to freak the fuck out all weekend. And my wife's like, you're too sick. Don't booze too much. Well, now she's nowhere to be found. So that bottle of Kraken is finding a new home. Shout out to all the cappers joining us. I'm pumped up. We didn't have a huge winning day yesterday. 3-3 in NBA, 1-1 in college football, 1-0 in NHL, 1-0 in MLB. But it felt like we were capping well. I feel a ton of confidence with what we're doing right now. And a day in the black is a good day. A winning day is a day we should cherish And we're having a lot of them. Shout out to all the cappers joining us. Mr. Vape in the house says Dallas trifecta was no damn bueno. Yeah, Utah Jazz are a tricky team to fade right now. And yeah, we learned that the hard way. I thought for a second we were going to cash it too. You know, with a few minutes left in the fourth, they had a 5-point lead. And I was like, "Ooh, shit." Vipe in the house. Ryan Mueller. Ryan, can't wait to rock with you tomorrow. And you, Vipe. Brandon the Great says Eagles going to make it back. We have a huge show today. And we got to hammer through 13 games in NHL and then NFL. We have Mr. Gogster for that. Then we get into NCAA football. God, I feel so good about capping NCAA football with you. It's the most confident I've ever been in my life in college football. And I am enjoying it so much. Then we go into MLB. Get Jose Bouquet to roll with us and keep the winners coming in. 4.22% ROI in MLB this year from Bet365 lines that aren't that good. It's been a good season, and we can do better. There's Spenny Penny Bombs. Spenny Penny Bombs made his NFL Pub Hub debut on Sunday, went 6-2. By the way, I did all the NFL records for NFL Pub Hub. I set up who's going to be on the show because I don't want to think about anything other than horses. Even when the Saturday night show ends, I will still only think of horses till I wake up Sunday morning. And just so you guys know, Bobano has been usurped on top of the leaderboard by a young Billy Brisbane. Getting Billy Brisbane from South Jersey. God damn. Brizzy has been fucking spectacular. Now, I've got to hang out with him in person, cap with him in person. This guy's fucking... He's got it. Week 2, he went 3-0 plus 3.5 units. Week 4, he went 3-1 plus 2.46 units. Week 7, he went 3-1 plus 1.95 units. Week 8, he went 3-1 plus 2.3 units. He's 12-3 plus 10.21 units. But I was supposed to be giving Spenny the love, and it quickly went to Brizzy. Spenny 6-2 plus 3.88 units. So we had to come get him back. And Mr. Gogster. Mr. Gogster, currently in 5th place right now. He'll be with us on Sunday as well. He's 7-5 plus 1.91 units in 5th. Barely ahead of CMAC, who's barely ahead of Big Ragu. Right now, the guys are being great in football. We've had 19 cappers, 10 are in the black, and they're way up overall as a group. But I'll do those stats later. But shout out to the Gogster who's going to be joining us soon. I don't have Gogster's NHL records. Look, it's a very busy time, and I will get them. It's early, but though for me, and the record will pop up. You'll see 13 and 14 down 0.49 units and be like, Jimmy's having a shit start. But the truth is, I opened 0-7 down 7.66 units. So I'm feeling good about everything. Alfred in the house, series business. Spenny says props suck last night. You know it was a bad night when Trey gets poked in the eye, leaves for a bunch, and Murray hits 35 plus. Yeah, it was tricky. Yes, rocking the Expos hat. I can't usually, in my old spot, I couldn't rock white. So I don't know. Things have changed here. If I showed you my wall, though, you'd laugh at my face. All my foam has fallen down. So we're going to get a spray adhesive and try to keep that fucking foam up. So I apologize if it doesn't sound that good. There's Dan Kelly, whom I love dearly. LJ from H-Town, yes, I tracked your action, and this is a sign of your honesty and transparency as a capper that I respect very, very much. You had some heartbreaking losses, and we can't wait to have you back on the show, and we believe in you completely and fully. And just the fact that you come right back into the chat and own up for everything that happened for you last night is another sign of who you are as a man. And you're exactly the kind of capper we want to run with. So I did track your action last night, and there was some heartbreaking losses. But, God, I love you, man. And I can't wait to have you back. You tell me the next time you're ready to go. Can't wait to have you back. We believe in you enormously. There's Clint in the house. There is Slatsy ready to go. saying huge NHL card. Yes, we got to get to work. So Andrew, J Dub, all of you guys, Von Polo is on the Magic today. Oh, Von Polo, wow. To take the Warriors to lose all 5 games on the road, that lose their 4th straight game on this road trip. Ooh, Von Polo got big old balls banging around. Must be hard to walk with those giant balls you have, Von Polo. That's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Remo says, weekend to yourself, cracking horses and porn. I don't care about the porn. It might find its way on the computer. All I care, though, about is the Kraken and the horses and hanging out with you guys. I'm very, very excited. RVD, perfect day for Von Polo. Okay, we got to get to work. I wish I could give you guys all a shout-out because you all deserve one. And we have nothing without you guys here at Pub Sports Radio. And I'm so excited about the weekend, and I'm just thankful. Nuke Worker, the show pops off tomorrow at 11:45 a.m. There is no betting with the bag. It's all horses. So you can join us. And I hope you join us. Also, something that I need to start and I don't want to make a big thing of, but there's something going on with Bet Online where they've given us like a bunch of different links, and I guess just putting in the code is not being calculated by them or whatever. This is not. I don't want to hang on this too long, but if anybody did open up a new account with the Pub Sports code, if you could message me on Twitter, I would be very thankful. We all would at Pub Sports. I would be very thankful, and I don't want to harp on it too much. But just thought I might just lay that down now. If anybody did open up a new account with the Pub Sports code, if you could just hit me up on Twitter, that would mean a ton. All right, let's get to work. Oh, yeah. Let's go. We break into NHL and we bring on Belleville's finest. I was reading an article about the shittiest places in Toronto. And I actually thought of God, how about they were saying that the 3 worst, scariest public housing projects were Rexdale, Parkdale, and Jane and Finch. And I was like, damn. And then immediately, I started thinking, I bet you it's shittier in Belleville. Let's bring him on right now. Mr. Gogster in the house. What up, Gogster?
What's going on, bro? We had a shooting actually a couple weeks ago here in Belleville, so it's getting kind of rough here. The homelessness too is getting bad. You got people walking around in pajamas. Just as you can see, a lot of 9 o'clock shadow going on. Welcome to Belleville, guys. Keep your purses and your wallets close by. But anyway, I'm glad to be here, guys. On a positive note, glad to be here. It's a cloudy day, but 13 games on the card. I got a lot of action, Jim. No lie. We got a dozen plays here. I went smaller on the units, but I got a lot of action here. So let's get after it, buddy.
Let's get after it, and we got to be brisk with these games. If you're in the chat,
it is. And
only Von Polo can't do it, but everybody other than Von Polo can say you're taking too long on hockey. Speed it up, Von Polo. You can't. You've abused that right. That we love you, Von Polo, but you've abused the right. Okay, let's get to work right now. There's Fat Wally in the house, too. Fat Wally going to be rolling with us in the horses. We miss you, Fat Wally. Wine Time Sports. Kyle Hintley coming off a $2,000 profit on the Astros. I love it.
Oh, beautiful. Oh, love it.
I picked up 193, but
it's okay.
It's still something.
Hey, you went to the window and you collected, Jim.
Let's get to work, my friend. We open up with let me pull up the line history here. Where the hell is it? I know I have it up here. God damn it. Okay.
It's an action-packed day here. That Toronto game last night, though, good to see the Leafs bounce back against Sandstrom, AHL goalie. Good to see. Expected, really. But, and I don't know if you guys saw the scrum at the end there between Matthews and Konechny. Oh, that was great. Giordano just comes in with the full spear, like Edge from back in the day. And, it was just great.
Yeah, I want the Leafs to lose. But, to each their own.
I get it.
Von Polo, you deserve to be on that stream. Let's connect, man. Let's just hit
Yeah,
me on
follow.
DM me on Twitter. All right, let's get to work here. We start in NHL, and speaking of wanting the Leafs to lose, I almost want every team in the NHL to lose, other than I guess the Vancouver Canucks, and I like the Kachuk family very, very much. But I really want the Capitals to lose 5-4-2, 2-3-1 on the road at the Detroit Red Wings, 4-3-2, 3-1-1 at home. We're at Little Caesars Arena, Detroit, Michigan. I have Darcy Kemper versus Alex Nedeljkovic. I don't know if that's changed. A lot of the goalie stuff I did was last night, so let me know if things have changed. Kemper 4-3-1, 2.39 goals against average, 922 save percentage, 1 shutout. His number, I thought he was not going to have numbers like this. He's been good. Nedeljkovic has been a bum. Washington's power play 22.2%, penalty killing 80%. Detroit's power play 18.8%, penalty killing 80%. The Capitals coming off their second straight loss, 3-2 in overtime at home to the Knights on Tuesday night. The Wings coming off their third loss in 4 games, 8-3 at Buffalo on Monday night. So they've had a lot of time to stew on that loss. We go over to the line history here, and I'd like to go over the Capitals' injuries. For sure, but there's been a 7-cent move to the Capitals, and that surprises me. There had been no move to the Capitals until 30-40 minutes ago. From a totals perspective, it opened up at 6.5, slightly juiced to the under. It's now juiced more to the under. Let's go over to the cash flow here. I gotta stop coughing. 4,413 tickets in, and 42% of the 45% of the tickets, 18% of cash on Washington. Fuck, man. I agree with that totally. I don't think that Washington should be backed here at all. Let's take a look at their injuries. And they're bad. Washington's a beat-up group right now. They have John Carlson out at least until November 5th. That's a huge loss. TJ Oshie out at least until November 5th. We know Wilson, Backstrom, Hagelin are all out.
Yep.
I don't know how they can win this game. Take it away for us, my man, Capitals, Red Wings.
Yeah, so this game here, I agree with Jimmy here. You got Oshie, Mulletstein, could be butchering his name, Brown, Carlson. They're coming off a couple losses too, actually. They're coming off a loss against Carolina there too, 4-3. Loss against Vegas, that's Washington guys, 3-2. But then Detroit, I think they can't go with Ned. Ned's a second string goalie. He's still young, so hopefully he can turn it around. But Husso's their guy. They brought him over for St. Louis. St. Louis is struggling without their number one now. This is their guy they have to go with. He hasn't been that bad. Only one bad loss, really. Well, he's had 2 bad losses against the Kings and the Bruins, but you got a banged up Washington team. Penalty kill, power play, not far off for both teams. I just think this is a spot, Jimmy, where Detroit are going to jump all over them. I just saw from the beat writers, 2 guys, to get Scotty Bowman in the arena there tonight, Jimmy. So that's always a good sign for Detroit. But if you got Husso going, I think this is a good bounce back spot against Washington, who is looking depleted. They're depleted with their injuries, in my opinion, Jimmy. Without Carlson, Oshie, Connor Brown, not as much, but those 2 players. And I've been a little bit wrong too, guys, with the Capitals, but I think this spot here for Detroit, they're 5-3-2 in their last 10 I have here. Make sure that's correct. 5-3-2, 17% power play, 80% penalty kill. I'm just going to rely on the bounce back. I think this is just a bounce back spot with the better goalie too. Kemper has looked good. Don't get me wrong. 0.922 save percentage, 2.39 goals against. Both goalies you have 2 good goalies here going, guys. Save percentage is over 0.920. I'm just going to go with the fact that I think you got a quicker, younger team here in Detroit that should jump all over Washington. Jimmy, give me Detroit first period money line and full game money line, both at minus 105.
I watched a hockey documentary, and I know who Darren McCarthy is.
It's McCarty. All right, let's get back to work here. The Wings come in off their third loss 4 games. I think that they're going to hammer away here. But did you see Mike M saying they're in an 0-30 spot tonight, losing by an average of 2.5 goals?
0-30 spot. I expand on that. Is that what is that?
I would love to hear.
Out of Rochester, I love Mike M. Every time my Belleville Senators are playing, he's always letting me know if they won or lost against Rochester. Usually lost, but yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, Darren McCarty there played for the Belleville Bulls OHL there, Jose.
Okay, I need to see. Mike M is pulling it up.
Okay.
I need to pull it up here.
Big show.
I need to pull it up.
Yeah, I don't want to hum and haw too much more on this. I know that's very interesting from Mike M. I don't have as much stats. More I'm looking at it. That 8-3 loss though, guys. Anytime a team loses 8-3, you've seen what Buffalo can do especially against Pittsburgh last night. They're a good hockey team. And Washington here, they've. I don't think they're going to be able to keep up, guys. I think Detroit should are going to just out muscle. I'm sounding cheap here, Jimmy. I just think they're going to out hustle them to the pucks. I think they're going to beat Kemper here and Huso, who should be getting the number one role here, prove himself, and I think he can at home. Yeah.
Okay, I need to hear what I agree with you. I want Detroit here. I want to take advantage of the injuries for the Capitals. I'm not saying the teams don't, won't be galvanized by things like this, but this is an angry Red Wings team that's been sitting. Now, I don't like that Tyler Bertuzzi is out, but I just need to hear what Mike M's angle is. This is what we do. We all work together. My plan was to do something similar. I don't think it was a double up for me, but something similar to what Gogster was doing, but I need to hear what Mike M is talking about. All right, let's move on. Next up for us, 7 p.m. Eastern, Vegas Golden Knights 9-2-0, 4-1-0 on the road at Ottawa Senators 4-5-0, 4-1-0 at home. We have Slatsy saying Cap 6-0, last 6 in Detroit.
There's a lot of stats. Jay in Vegas says Detroit has beat Washington 2 of the last 10 meetings. A lot of this is just, I'm going to say, more so day-to-day capping with this Detroit play.
Yeah, I agree. Let's just get as much information as possible. That's all. So we'll move on. Mike M's going to pull up that stat that they're in the 0-30 spot. And I agree this is a different Red Wings team. But let's move on to Vegas Golden Knights, 9-2-0, 4-1-0 on the road to Ottawa Senators, 4-5-0, 4-1-0 home. Canadian Tire Center in Ottawa, Ontario. This Knights team is really playing well. And I was hoping that would not be the case this year. 5-2-0 is Logan Thompson, 1.73 goals against average, 938 save percentage, 2 shutouts. Anton Forsberg, 3-5-0, 3.18 goals against average, 909 save percentage. Vegas power plays at 20.6%, penalty killing at 76%. Ottawa, 23.3% power play, 78.4% penalty killing. Vegas comes in off their 5th straight win. 3-2 in overtime at Washington to begin a 5-game trip. So it shows you with how good Vegas is playing. Now, they did have to fly across the country, but that Washington was in that game till the end. So I'm a little hesitant here. Slatsy says Vegas 6-0 last 6 and 4-0 last 4 in Ottawa. Forsberg is confirmed for Ottawa.
Yeah, he's going. Talbot's nearly ready to go, though. You guys probably saw that from the beat writer there, Bruce, for Ottawa. He should be starting the next game, Talbot, but Forsberg's getting this last one.
I get money that you need. The most important thing is to bet size appropriately and to have a bank account that's just your gambling account. That has nothing to do with the family, nothing to do with any of that. Mm-hmm. That's the most important thing to do. So why don't you stop, maybe take a break from gambling, get everything else together, get the account going that has nothing to do with the family, put some money in there. I think because you don't want to put pressure on today so that you can have continue your progress and career in sports handicapping. So that's what I would do for you if I were you. I would stop, go to a bank, get a new account, new bank card that's just for gambling.
Marathon, not a sprint. Yeah.
The Sens coming off their 3rd straight loss, 4-3 at Tampa on Tuesday night. Tampa on Tuesday night. Let's move over to the line history here. Oh shit. Tampa. I went right to Carolina, Tampa, Vegas, Ottawa. Here we go.
Ottawa, yeah.
We have Vegas opening up at -135. They're now -138, so it's been just a 3-cent move towards them. From a total perspective, it's gone 6.5, 4 cents to the under. It was 11 cents to the under. From a cash flow perspective, 3,808 tickets in, 80% of the tickets, 81% of the cash on the nights, and the market's not moving towards them. I want you to talk a little bit more about Norris being out for the year and who is taking over that second line spot that's set for the top 6 forwards with Ottawa.
Yeah, absolutely. Shane Pinto, our guy Clint MMA was saying he wants the Calderon. He's a great sniper. It's just the depth is they lost depth is what they lost. Who'd they call up? They got Dylan Gambrell with Parker Kelly, Austin Watson on the fourth. Matthew Joseph. This is like they didn't play bad against Tampa Bay and Florida guys. They couldn't hold on. Their defense, Jim, is I've been saying it all year. It's just not there. Jake Sanderson, a couple of my buddies there at work who follow this team pretty closely, they say he's great offensive defenseman, but their defense, they don't have that stand at home defenseman. Eric Brandstrom, no, he's a smaller offensive guy. So is Shabbat, who Hamonic, Holden, Zaitsev, who's just a pylon. So their defense is really hurting. And then
can I interrupt you quickly here because I want to focus solely on this game right now? But I get money. I mean, you don't need to take a break from the handicapping. What you should do now is cap every day like you would. Write down all of your action and see if you would be succeeding. You can get a lot out of that. You don't need – I just mean that you need to put yourself in a situation for long-term success. So be here every day with us. Cap the card. Be ready to go. And then while you're doing that, see if you would be winning. Because if you are winning, that will really help your confidence when you have cash in the account. So I don't mean stop capping because you're a handicapper. That's what you're gonna do every day. You cap sports, but that doesn't mean you need to risk money at this point. This is a long-term play that we're doing here. Sorry. I really want to focus on this, but I just wanted to make sure that I get money and we were on the same page. This is not about the capping. You're a capper. That's what you're gonna do. Gogster, you were rolling there, and I apologize for interrupting, and I like where you're going, so keep rolling.
Yeah, I know. With everyone here is talking about the under. It's just the defense for Ottawa guys. At home, Ottawa's best chance of winning, Jimmy, for the most part. This is they play their best hockey at home. Vegas too. They've been rolling guys against Washington 3-2, Winnipeg 2-1. Really good defensively. Haven't allowed many goals at all. So I see where you guys are leaning towards. A lot of the trends, a lot of what's been happening lately. But Ottawa, their first two lines they're damn good with DeBrincat, Stützle, Giroux, Batherson, Pinto, and Chucky. But their bottom two, they are hurting. I don't have anything on this game. Usually I have a lot of action guys on the Ottawa games, but I'm just going to kind of sit back and watch. No Zub, too. He's day-to-day. This isn't a game I want anything to do with. If anything, I guess I would lean towards Vegas if I don't want Ottawa. But I wouldn't be surprised if Ottawa won this game, but I don't have a good feel at all for this one, guys. I almost kind of lean to a Vegas team total over, to be honest, just because of what I've seen from Ottawa hasn't been good of late. So.
Yeah, I would like to back. I can understand why you guys like the under, and I can understand also with Slatsy and Gogster being nervous about the under because of Ottawa's defense. I also feel like Vegas feels so good about themselves, and they had a really tough year last year, So I'm a little nervous getting in front of their momentum.
Yeah, and you got Mark Stone's coming back to Ottawa too. Longtime senator.
Oh yeah, that's a good point too.
It's tough. Both penalty kills guys are last 10 games are 72% and 75. Power plays are humming over 20% for both teams too. So if you got power plays starting to happen here, there could be some goals. I think especially from Vegas. But I think Ottawa they play better at home. I can make a case for both sides, for both totals here, guys. So it's at 13 games, I'll pass on this one.
Okay, we're gonna roll on. That was Vegas, Ottawa. I thought I was going to move on this game. By the way, the sharp money is on the under. The market was really telling us that was the look. It was minus 117. There had been an 11-cent move by 3-5 in the morning. It's come back 7 cents. And there's a ton of games on this card, so I'm just going to move on past it.
Red sheet play of the day too. Vegas Golden Knights -125.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Did he put that in the chat?
I just saw on Twitter. I know
Okay.
it's on Twitter there, so follow him, guys, on Twitter. They're Ronnie Crawford.
Oh wow! Okay.
So that's interesting. Yeah, and also Kyle just brought it up too.
Spreadsheet. Okay, we move on. 7 p.m. Eastern, Carolina Hurricanes 6-2-1, 4-1-1 on the road at the Tampa Bay Lightning 6-4-0, 2-1-0 at home. We're at Amalie Arena in Tampa, Florida. Freddie Anderson 4-2-0, 2.64 goals against average, 896 save percentage. That's who I think he is. He's just. There's times where I believed in him, and every time I have, it's hurt my bankroll. Andre Vasilevsky on the other side, 4-3-0, 2.89 goals against average, 902 save percentage, having a similar start to the season as he had last year. Carolina power play at 17.1%, penalty killing at 79.4%. Tampa Bay power play at 21.4%, penalty killing at 82.4%. The Hurricanes coming off their second straight win, 3-2 in a shootout at home over the Capitals on Monday night. They're a well-rested group. The Lightning coming off their third straight win, 4-3 at home over the Senators on Tuesday night. Let's go to the line history here quickly. Also, the big part in this, I don't know if you know, but it's Victor Hedman's injury.
Yep.
He's day-to-day. I don't know if he's going to be in the lineup, and it's crucial. So. It's crucial, okay? This opened with Tampa Bay at -121. They're now -114. But they got down to -104. This Carolina was a favorite in this hockey game at one point, which is hard to believe, which is telling me Hedman's not going to be in the lineup. This total opened up at 6.5 and has dropped to 6. And then when we get to the cash, shout out to Kyle Hindley, man. And your daughter, she's so incredible, man. That moves me. That moves me that she would care that much, man. I love your family, Kyle, and please send my love to your daughter. Please send my love. That's so sweet, man. It's just so sweet. There's 60% line value on 3 teams and 50% on 2 teams. Carolina is one of the teams with 60% line value. 81% of the tickets and 96% of the cash on Carolina. 85% of the tickets, 99% cash on the under. Gogster, take it away here. We have the Hurricanes against the Lightning.
I like the total here more so, Jimmy. Anderson Vasilevsky. I'm no goal first 10 minutes is where I'm going to go here. +135. With Hedman out, this is what I want to get to. With Hedman out, I think that it's just less offense, don't you think, Jimmy?
Is it confirmed that he's out?
Well, what I'm seeing here from the beat writers, it's looking like he's not going to play. It's not confirmed yet, but I feel like even if you get him going, like if he was good to go, he'd be going, right? Like if he goes, it's probably not 100% Victor Hedman, which still isn't bad, but with him out, Jimmy, which I'm going to expect, I think it's going to be less offense or less outlet passes for their big names. You're going to have to get what's his name there, their other defenseman. They're slipping my mind right now. Just signed that big contract. Sergachev, thank you. He's going to be their guy for the outlet passes here, but it doesn't look like he's going to be going. I think that's going to lead to less offense. I see why people are on Carolina, but Jimmy said it with Carolina and Anderson. He's been a little up and down. They also have a back-to-back, Jimmy, at Buffalo tomorrow. So is it going to be Anderson? Is it going to be Ranta? That's what I've been trying to figure out too here. So whenever I see a back-to-back, I like trying to see from the beat writers to get a little insight because you never know really, right? But looking at some stats here, Carolina, 36 shots on goal for, 26 against in their last 10 games, Jimmy. I think the reason why they make their goalies look so good is their defense is just poised. It's polished, I guess is what I would say, polished. And Brent Burns' addition is great for them. So give me no goal first 10 minutes here. Only worry would be maybe if Carolina scores early, but this style of hockey should be a slow kind of dump and chase kind of style of hockey here. I don't think there's going to be much outlet. I just think without Hedman, I've seen him with those outlet passes, Jimmy. He produces so much offense for this team. So with him out, I'm going to go with no goal early here, +135, Carolina, Tampa Bay.
I like this look. I like this look a lot. I don't know if I'm going to focus on the 10 minutes.
I get that.
But I think the under or the first period under. Yeah. I know something says, how can you anticipate a player not being in the lineup? It's probably a bigger thing in basketball, but you'll know that you'll get a better line if you bet now, expecting a player not to be in the lineup, and then at 3 p.m. he's announced not in the lineup. It's just another. You don't necessarily. Maybe you don't want to bet with a full unit at that point but we often do that. We often make part of our action is I expect X to not be in the lineup, so I'm going to bet now, expecting the better line.
Lightning Insider Jim, Lightning Insider John Cooper said Victor Hedman is doubtful for tonight. So doubtful pretty much means he's not playing, guys. That's from the Insider right here, and that's 8 minutes ago. So expect that line to start moving.
So I expect a couple different things here. One, I expect less offense, but I expect their penalty killing to be a little weaker.
That's the last thing they're going to want to do is to go to the box. But if I look at power play penalty kill, last 10 games, Carolina 17% power play, 75% penalty kill. So their special teams have been that good. And then you got Vasilevsky too, Jimmy, where he can stop teams on 5-on-3. So yeah, I think it's going to be a lower scoring game. I do
too, but it's dropped from 6.5 to 6. Oh no, 6.5 at -125. I'm trying to stay away from those. If that's the case, then that first period under 1.5 sitting at +125. What did you get for the no goal first 10 minutes?
+135. +135. And more I'm thinking about this, Jim, even a team total under Tampa Bay Lightning kind of makes some sense here. 2.5, I think.
First period under 1.5 is what I am expecting to move on here. Tongue Tied says Husso starting for the Wings tonight.
Yeah, 100%. That's if Ned was going, I would have retracted my bets ASAP.
And then Clint going back on the Phil Kessel train that I want nothing to do with. The train that serves hot dogs.
Beaver tails in Ottawa.
But looking like Kessel has a nice career against the Senators. And we saw what our man Clint's been able to do with Kessel scoring the first goal and things like that. And then we were told by Mike M that Detroit lost 11 times last season when they were in a situation like this. And the situation is when Detroit line is less than +130, rest is less than 3 days. And this is specific to Detroit going all the way back to 2019. And they lost to the Sabres 8-3 and the Kings 5-4 in the similar situations this season. Yeah, thank you, Mike, dropping that again. That's very, very, very interesting. This is part of what makes this show great is us all working together.
Now, one thing I want to say too about that game, I had written down, I don't want to say I'm forcing Detroit. I do think they're going to win, but no goal in the first 10 minutes in Washington, Detroit was also a play I was going to play, Jimmy. Just with these goaltenders and just 5-on-5, Detroit's been a little. Their Corsi numbers, I believe, they weren't that good. So I have a lean to the no goal first 10 minutes in the Detroit game as well, but taking the double up on it there.
Son Dizzle said that his son asked about you and said, I hope he isn't rooting for the Broncos anymore.
So. Me? I don't know, buddy. I'm Bronco for life. That's all I know. I'm stuck. I'm a dumb Bronco fan, buddy.
Okay, let's move on. Oh, that got me. Let's move on. 7:30 p.m. Eastern, Boston Bruins 9-1-0, 3-1-0 on the road at New York Rangers, 6-3-2, 3-1-2 at home. If you want to know about some of the mistakes that I made in my analysis before the year started, was that the Bruins without McAvoy and Marchand would get off to a slow start. They get Marchand back, they lose Krejci. This is a runaway train right now with the Bruins. And Ullmark, 7-0, 2.19 goals against average, 932 save percentage. This is a huge game. I know they're not in the same division, but these are two teams that could easily meet up in, I don't know. I don't know about Eastern Conference Finals, but I think Boston, 24.3% power play, 94.6% penalty killing without McAvoy. Unbelievable. Rangers, 22% power play, 81.3% penalty killing. Bruins coming off their 6th straight win, 9th in 10 games to start the season in a wild 6-5 overtime comeback victory at Pittsburgh on Tuesday night. They're scoring 4.4 goals per game. They were down 5-2 with 9 minutes left in the second. Excuse me. And these, the idea that Sidney Crosby, after that comeback, would go into Buffalo and be a -4 is just like, it's the craziest stat. It's like,
man, did you see Buffalo move the puck though on them? Holy shit.
I couldn't believe it.
It's unreal.
Rangers coming off their third straight win, 1-0 overtime victory at home versus the Flyers on Tuesday night. Let's quickly go to the line history here for this one. We have the Rangers opening up at -128. That's where they are right now, but they did go down to -121. And from a totals perspective, it opened up at 6, -111 to the over. It's now a pick 'em. And when we go over to the cash flow here, we have 4,665 tickets. 58% of tickets, 60% of cash is on Boston. And then 32% of the tickets, but 46% of cash is on the under. Take it away for us, Gogster. Bruins, Rangers.
Well, I'm gonna kind of ride this Rangers first period totals I got here, guys. They're 5-1 to the under in the first period at home, Jim. They're just a heavy under team. You got Boston too with Allmark, Shesterkin. I think you know where I'm going with this. After a 6-5 performance from Boston, Rangers have been a heavy, well, not heavy under, but for the most part, especially at home with Shesterkin, they're an under team. 26 goals allowed in their last 10 games. Boston 29 for the Rangers. That's top 7, 8 or so in the NHL. Save percentages are over .920 for both teams. No goal first 10 minutes, Jim, plus 120. Krejci could be in too. I'm trying to find some information, Jimmy. I have he could be in, unless you have something that tells me he's not. But if he's back too, that does help. But this team, the Rangers, I expect it to be tight early. Penalty kill too. You said it. Boston 94%, unbelievable. One shout out to Hampus Lindholm. He's been I've been reading a beat writer here. He's saying he's been the MVP to this point with McAvoy out, because it makes sense. Someone had been just playing out of their mind without McAvoy, even without Marchand in the lineup. And Hampus Lindholm, he's been a nice addition because he had a slow start. If you remember, Jimmy, coming over from Anaheim, he didn't look that good. I remember in the first few months, but he's been an MVP on their team up to this point. So. I think this is a defensive style of game, a low scoring game, and I'm taking the no goal early, like I usually do. No goal first 10 plus 120.
No goal first 10 minutes at plus 124.
All right, there, buddy. You need a little water? Get a little water in you.
Okay, I will get a little water. Jose will jump in for a second. Thank you.
Here we go.
Patrick Roy is spelled R-O-Y?
Oh, Lord. What? What do you think it was spelled?
What? I was trying to Google Patrick Roy, and I was like, Patrick, W-A-A, and nothing was coming up, and I was like,
it's French.
What the fuck? Who's Patrick Roy? And I was like, what? That was the most shocking thing of the documentary I watched. The most shocking thing I've ever seen in my life. I had no idea. I had absolutely no idea.
Patrick Roy. Yeah, straight out of Quebec City, buddy. This guy was vicious, man. He's even on the benches, he wanted to beat people. Oh, this is Montreal style Quebec goalies, man. This is what you wanted back in the day. They're mean. You didn't want to get in their crease. Brodeur, they got even Luongo, a lot of these French goalies, man. They were vicious. And yeah, Patrick Roy. How did you think it was spelled, Jose? Just
W-A-A, whatever the fuck. I don't know. I had no idea it was R-O-Y. I was shocked. I was shocked.
Anyone in the chat? Let's see here. Yeah.
I just feel terrible for leaving for 30 seconds.
Did you know that? I had no idea. Who would have thought? When I saw a bunch of Colorado Roy jerseys walking around, I was like, weird. I was like, who the fuck is Roy?
Oh, Jesus.
I guess Hockey Network is not a lot down in Texas.
Let's stay focused here. Gogsters on the no goal.
Giroux, a motherfucker.
Oh, Jesus.
Claude Giroux, a motherfucker. I like him, though.
He's a beauty. Love the French hockey.
How does he know how to pronounce Giroux if he doesn't know how to pronounce Wah?
Questions I don't have answers.
R-O-Y? Are you kidding me? What is that?
But look at Giroux. It's got an X at the end. I'm saying, Bouquet's French, right? Jose, you got a French last name, so
he does.
That is facts. That is true. But I had no idea. Who would have thought? Not me.
Let's stay focused here. There's razor sharp picks in the house. I would like to move on the Rangers here. I feel like the Bruins' fun is going to come to an end in Madison Square Garden. I do.
Yeah, I hear you. I feel like this is like it's hitting red on the roulette table. You know what happens when you try and get off it. But yeah, defenseman there, McAvoy should be coming back soon too for this team. So maybe this can be the spot, Jimmy. But I think it's going to be more of a low-scoring game of these two goalies that have proven themselves over the first month of the season here. So
Yeah, I mean, back in the day, we would never get a 6 when these two teams played. It would always be a 5.5.
yeah, you need 7 to beat you.
Okay, I guess I'm going to need a little bit more time with this, but I'm certainly leaning towards the Rangers and the under. Which means I guess I could just take the Rangers team total under. Let's just take a quick look at what that is here. The team total is sitting at
Stimmy's on the Rangers
under 2.5 at plus 125. That's a pretty nice number
for the Rangers.
For the Bruins.
The Bruins.
I like the Rangers here. That's a pretty nice number. Fanatical Jim says Rangers lead the league in shots. Bruins top 5 offensively. I'm on the over in this spot. I don't know what to do here myself, and I'm not going to sit here and hum and haw. We got a ton of games to go through. We're taking a long time here. Spenny liking that look for the Bruins team total under 2.5. I mean, I love those plus spots. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's keep rolling. Gogster moved on the no goal first 10 at plus 120. Next up for us, we have the Seattle Kraken. God, it made me feel good when they beat the Flames at the Minnesota Wild. Kraken are 5-4-2, 3-1-1 on the road. Wild 5-4-1, 2-3-0 at home. Xcel Energy Center in St. Paul, Minnesota. Martin Jones going up against Marc-Andre Fleury. That might have changed, so let me know if that has. If it hasn't, Martin Jones is a sieve. 4-3-1, 3.09 goals against average, 879 save percentage. Marc-Andre Fleury 5-1-1, 3.33 goals against average, 894 save percentage. Seattle power play clicking at 26.8%, been very impressive. Penalty killing weak at 70.3%. Minnesota power play at 27.8%, penalty killing weak at 75%. Kraken coming off their second straight win, 5-4 victory at Calgary Tuesday night. Wild coming off their second straight win, 4-1 at home over the Habs on Tuesday night. Let's move over to the line history and the cash flow for this one. That's the Habs versus the Jets. Here we go. Seattle, Minnesota. We have Minnesota opening up at minus 193. They're now at minus 165. An enormous move towards the Kraken. And it's the Wild at home. This used to be a smash spot for this hockey team, and it no longer is. I don't think they're that good of a hockey team. I have their season total under 99.5 points. Mm-hmm. This total opened up, juiced quite heavy to the over at minus 124. It's down to minus 114 to the over. And when we take a look at the cash flow here in this one, we have another 60% line value on the Kraken. And listen to this. There's only 5,220 tickets in, but 42% of the tickets and 96% of the cash are on the Kraken. 64% of tickets and 99% cash are on the over. Take it away for us, Gogster. Kraken, Wild.
Well, I'm with what the cash and the trends are going there. Jimmy, I think, I'm expecting Decord to go. Joey Decord, or Dackard as I call him. Jones is gone. He's played every other day for the last 10 days, going back to October 19th. So I think Decord's definitely going to be going here today against Minnesota. Also, the injuries for Minnesota guys are not good right now. They have questionable here. Hartman, they're not playing actually. Hartman, Deschamps, Deschamps, I believe. Foligno, Greenway. Those are some big names right there, Jimmy, for Minnesota. Fleury, too. He's got an 8.894 save percentage the last 10 games, 3.33 goals against. Decord had one game, Jimmy. He allowed 4 goals, but that was on 40 shots. This guy's a lot. I think this guy could be your number. Decord's the future, in my opinion. They got him from Belleville. I watched him a lot here in Belleville, Decord. He's almost, if it wasn't the lockout, Belleville would have went to the Calder Cup, I think, with Decord or the other goal that we had. But anyways, Decord's a lot better. I think he could be their number one, guys. Both power plays for both teams are over 20%. Penalty kills are below 80, so could be some goals. I'm going to go with, what do I have here? A triple up here, Jim.
Jesus.
Seattle team total over 2.5, minus 125 or minus 127. First period, Seattle plus 130, and full game money line plus 150 on Seattle. I think this is just a Seattle spot. Now, it's funny. I did the same thing on the show with Low Shack on Tuesday. I had Montreal triple up against Minnesota. So I'm expecting regression with these injuries now that they're confirmed. Now that they are confirmed, at least from the beat writers, they're saying yesterday these guys weren't going. So I'm pretty high on Seattle too. They have offense. It's just closing the door on teams that makes it tough. Jeez, I can't even talk today. And one more stat for you guys too. Minnesota, they haven't led after the first period at home. They're 3 losses and 2 pushes. So they don't do much coming out of the gate, even though they are. Well, they do score, Jimmy. I think they were 4-1 to the over at home, but they're kind of similar to Seattle. They can't hold on to a lead. So I'm trusting Seattle here in this spot, coming off an impressive win too. They've had 2 impressive wins against Pittsburgh and Calgary. So why can't you beat Minnesota here? Give me Seattle triple up.
Wow, that's a
Triple up.
ballsy. And like, I don't like Minnesota, but there's pieces of Seattle's front 6 that I like, but
I'm high on their offense, man. Seattle's. I know who they got: Wenberg, Burakovsky, Bjorkstrand, Schwartz, Beniers, Eberle, McCann, Gord, Tanev, Donato, Geeky, Sprong. They got offense on all 4 of those lines. So
the top 6 for the Wild are going to play nonstop, and Boldy has to step up here. Joel Eriksson-Ek will be on the ice in every important situation. They move Goodrow up for the Hartman spot. I love that all this action is on the Kraken, but they just had their signature win of the season in Calgary. I don't know if this is not in any sport. I've been trying to stay off of buying high. Now, look, all the big bets and sharp money are on them. Osby says those 3 out are a big deal, but it's really just Hartman that's the big deal. Because I know that Foligno and Greenway are hugely important hockey players, but
that's what you need, I think that's what you need against a quick team like this. You got to slow them down, beat them up.
But Greenway's been out all year.
Yeah.
So, they're used to that. And then, Foligno's obviously a hugely important player. But
yeah. Sam Steele, Dwyer, Fogarty, Marco Rossi, Yost, Mason Shaw. A lot of these guys have played a lot of time in the Iowa Wild, so it's not a lot of offense. I think their offensive production could go down a little bit, to be honest. Then you got Boldy, Eriksson-Ek, even Brandon Duchesne. I think he's questionable. He could maybe not go. So Kaprizov, Zuccarello, Ek, Boldy, Frederick Gaudreau. Jeez, man. Other than that, I don't see their team compared to with Fiala and their team compared to the last couple of years, Jimmy. It's really taken a hit. And I like where you're on the team total under there for the full season.
But that team total for the Kraken over 2.5 is minus 175 at Bet365.
Over 2.5. I just looked before the show here, see if it's still available. It was at I can say the book, Jim. Is that all right?
Of course.
Bet Rivers. Rivers here in Canada. I'll just make sure it's still there. But it was minus 122 about 3 a.m. last night. And
wow.
Today now it's where is it here? Kraken over 2.5 minus 127, Jim. Still alive.
Wow. That's a great bet.
Yeah.
That might be the best bet on the whole board is your Seattle team total over 2.5.
That one I'm like, yeah, that's if I had units there, I'd be putting I'm gonna go all the same here when it comes to the show, but I'd probably throw a little more on the Seattle team total over 2.5. But you're getting that nice plus 130, plus 150 on the money line in the full game. So one of those hits, you've made money.
Yeah. Well, certainly Seattle or nothing. I just I like where you're at, Gogster. I think you have nice action there. On that team total over, you're certainly with the sharp action. So let's move on. 8 p.m. Eastern, New York Islanders 6-4-0, 2-2-0 on the road at St. Louis Blues, 3-5-0, 1-3-0 at home at Enterprise Center in St. Louis, Missouri. Let's start with the Islanders. I said it last week. This is a bet-on hockey team.
Yeah.
The problem now is that the Blues have lost 5 straight games. They just have their tail between their legs. But
can't score, man.
The Islanders open up plus 107. They're now plus 101. From a total perspective, they open up at 6 at minus 110. They're now minus 111. We go over to the cash flow in Islanders Blues. Islanders have 50% line value, 62% of the tickets, 80% of cash on them. Then 36% of tickets, 73% cash on the under. It's been strange watching the Blues give up so many goals. It's very strange. Sorokin on the Islanders, 2.04 goals against average, 935 save percentage, elite.
He's a real deal.
Binnington lost his job last year and then got it back, when the games were the most important. But now he's just doing exactly what he did last year. 3.28 goals against average, 882 save percentage. New York Islanders, 12.5% power play. It'll improve, especially with I love Noah Dobson. It'll improve, but their penalty killing is at 94.1%, which is spectacular. St. Louis power play at 23.8%, penalty killing 79%. The Isles come off their 4 straight win, 3-1 win at the Blackhawks on Tuesday night. The Blackhawks without Seth Jones, I can't wait to fade them today. I have not made a bet before coming in, but it's tricky to think that the Blues are just going to – this proud, strong franchise is just going to get destroyed day in and day out, especially in their own barn. Take it away for us, Gogster, Islanders Blues.
Why the hell did these guys get rid of Huso? I really don't know why in the hell they did. Now they got Binnington, and this guy's really Jekyll and Hyde, Jim. If you ask me, one game he could steal a game, but I wouldn't want to bet on him. Defense, I don't know what's going on. Krug's questionable, so he's day to day. He might not play here. But I'm seeing Chari here, Noel Akari. He's up there on the first line with O'Reilly and Shen. That's a little different if you ask me. I didn't think he was a first liner. Buchnevich, Barbashev, Tarasenko, Kyrou, Thomas. I'm surprised this team doesn't have more offense. So I'm really trusting what I'm seeing, though, guys, from the numbers. From the Blues, Jimmy, they've scored 4 goals against the Canadiens. Other than that, 1 against LA, 2 against Nashville, 1 against Edmonton, 0 against the Jets, 0 against Edmonton. They can't score. And now you're going up against a team in the Islanders who have a 4% penalty kill, a goalie who's got a .935 save percentage in his last 10 games. They've allowed 1 against Chicago, 2 against Carolina, 4 against Colorado. But I think what I'm going to do here, guys, is take a team total under on the St. Louis Blues, Jimmy. It's plus 145, under 2.5. I'm just going to rely on the fact that the Islanders are a top team defensively with their goaltending too, and there's problems with St. Louis and their offense. They just can't seem to find it. Now, it's a little risky when you're going up against a team like St. Louis who haven't won a game in a while here, but they could win this game 2-1. Excuse me, 2-1. I think what I'm going to trust, though, guys, is that the Islanders, I think they're going to win this game too, but numbers and the value here. I think there's a little value here in plus 145, Jimmy.
Yeah, I just again feel like it's
a little risque.
It's about, are the Blues just going to sit back and have their faces kicked in? By the way, MDR24 saying that. Do you see the team total note he gave us?
No, I didn't. Sorry.
No worries. It said, sorry, I just had it up here. He said that Seattle team total over 2.5. That's in regulation at minus 127. If it includes overtime, it's minus 143.
Oh, look at me. Thank you know what? Everyone, if you didn't tell me that, I would have kept screwing that up. So, I appreciate, tip my cap to you. I tip my cap. Thank you. I'm going to go to right now. Yeah. Regulation time. I'll take that. I'll take that. Whatever. I don't think this is going to be a 2-2 game in overtime and I'm going to lose 3-2. Nah. Sorry, I don't sound like a hipster there in the nah, but good point though. Thank you for that.
But look at Spenny. He's an ex-hockey player himself.
Fucking right.
And he's on the Blues. I find it so difficult to believe that they're just going to sit back and take beatings.
It's a low-scoring game, no?
I love their coaching staff. This is a team that won the Cup. They're certainly playing poorly. I guess.
Wow, look at this, Jimmy. They don't play again. They play the Islanders tonight. They don't play again until Monday. wow. And it's a back-to-back against Boston and then Philadelphia. So they got quite the time off. That makes me think they probably want to win this one. Last thing they want to do is lose another one, sit on that for 3 days? Probably not. So, yeah, more I'm thinking about this. You know what? That was my last play on the card, too. So I hope no one's bet this one. I'm going to – because I haven't played this one, actually. Yeah, this is the last edition I made. I'm going to scratch that, Jim. I'm getting a little cold feet on this. I do think, it could be a 2-1 win on St. – if anything, I feel stronger on the under, just a full game under here. I really do.
Well, we got a ton of games to break down still. A big card ahead of us. Do you want to move on that under?
Yeah, I'll move on that full game under. Yeah,
Okay.
I'll move on that. And I'm just shopping here. I'm seeing bet Rivers under 6 minus 114. What I'm seeing.
Gogster moves on the under 6.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that, guys.
At minus 114, and so did Domi Gunrici. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. 8 p.m. Eastern. Montreal Canadiens 5-5-0, 2-3-0 on the road at the Winnipeg Jets. 5-3-1, 2-1-0 at home. Canada Life Center, Winnipeg, Manitoba. I have Montembeault listed.
Yeah.
You have okay. 2-1-0, 2.32 goals against average, 931 save percentage. He's been very good. Hellebuck 4-2-1, 2.41 goals against average, 931 save percentage. Don't look now. But he's playing like the Vezina winner of 2019. Montreal power play 13.8%, penalty killing 80.7%. Winnipeg power play also 13.3%, penalty killing 79.2%. So you have two teams with snipers that have weak power plays. Habs had their 2-game winning streak snapped in a 4-1 loss at Minnesota on Tuesday night. Jets come in off a 2-1 overtime loss at Vegas Sunday night. I thought that game was in Montreal. Was that
Which one?
The Montreal-Minnesota game that you doubled up on? Was that
they played a couple weeks ago in Montreal, and then they just played on Tuesday at Minnesota.
Okay, that's what I have there. Okay, so Spenny's saying the Jets are playing great hockey and saying Helly looking super solid to start the season.
Helly's looked really good.
I want to fade the Habs on the road, and the reason why I probably didn't already do it is only because of what happened in Buffalo on Friday, I believe. When they came in and beat them 3-2. Winnipeg opening up at minus 201. They're now minus 206. The market had moved towards Montreal, and now it's back towards Winnipeg. From a total standpoint, it opened up at 6.5 and has dropped to 6. Let's take a look at the cash flow here in this one. 3,820 tickets in. 37% of the tickets, 80% of the cash on Montreal. 86% of tickets, 69% of cash on the under. Take it away here. I guess the market is telling me that sharp money's on Montreal, and I don't think that there's value fading this hockey team. They're better than we expected them to be. They're much better than they were last year, and even though Winnipeg has played pretty well in spots, do I want to sit here and fade Montreal? Do I want the Jets at minus 200? Take it away, Gogster.
Jets can be flaky, man. For as long as I've been watching hockey, you never know with this team. But you got two goalies, Jimmy. Montembeault has been real good, .931 save percentage. Both of these goalies have that save percentage. I wouldn't be surprised. I think this number, I don't think it should be this high for Winnipeg. I really don't. I don't know why. I don't know why it's this high for Winnipeg. I think what I had written down, guys. I'm going to play this one? No, I'm not going to play this one. It's the no goal first 10 minutes. In this game, I think it's too risky though. But with these two goalies, that's why I think the lean to the under from 6.5 to 6. I agree with. I agree with the Montreal too. Just Winnipeg's 76% penalty kill, Jim, in their last 10 games. Both teams have a 13% power play too in the last 10 games. Shot production under 30. This game, I don't like this game at all. Really, I got my what do I have? No, I don't got my Jet sweater on. I got nothing on this one. I lean towards Montreal, guys. No goal first 10 unders. I wouldn't even put Winnipeg in a parlay piece here. I'd be careful.
And they're coming off a Vegas trip. Who knows what they did here?
They did lose 2-1 in that, but yeah, off a long road trip. Exactly.
Mike M misses the Le Habitant clip from last season. We got that for you.
La plus grande franchise dans la histoire du hockey.
What a fucking what an ass clown. Yeah, all right. Let's move on. 8:30 p.m. Eastern, Los Angeles Kings 6-6-0, 4-3-0 on the road at the Chicago Blackhawks 4-4-2, 3-2-1 at home. These teams that we thought were going to be dreadful, the Habs, the Blackhawks, have been much better than expected. Now the Blackhawks don't have Seth Jones. And now I expect that we see them fall apart.
Yep.
Jonathan Quick, 3-4-0, 3.44 goals against average, 888 save percentage. He's been bad for a while now. Holding this team back. And Arvid Soderblom, the Blackhawks are dealing with injuries. Arvid Soderblom has looked good in 2 starts. We'll pull up his hockey DB and break it down a little more.
Oh, I know Soderblom. He's a good kid.
Well, okay, we'll take it away then in the second year. Kings 20.8% power play, 75.5% penalty killing. Chicago 27.3% power play, 74.4% penalty killing. And those of you who are waiting for NHL to be done, we have NFL, NCAA football, MLB, and everything coming up right after this. So Kings had their 2-game winning streak snapped in a 5-2 loss at Dallas on Tuesday night. It's an angry group. Blackhawks coming off their 4 straight loss, 3-1 at home versus the Islanders on Tuesday night. Take a look at the line history here for this one. We have a big move towards the Kings, 15 cents, and it makes perfect sense to me. From a total perspective, it opened up at 6.5 and has dropped to 6. And again, when you lose a defenseman like Seth Jones, it doesn't mean necessarily that you're going to allow more goals, but it means that the outlet passes and the offense from the defense is going to be non-existent. And I was shocked when he was traded, but Kings have 60% line value, 84% of tickets, 97% of the cash. That's a lot of cash on them. 78% of tickets are on the over. Take it away for us, Gogster. Kings, Blackhawks.
Well, I think Soderblom's their best chance here when it comes to goaltending. They've lost their top 2 goalies, guys. Well, top 2 is pretty loose, say it loosely. Stalock and Mrazek. Now Soderblom coming out from Rockford, the AHL team, the Ice Hogs. He's good. He's got more to develop, I think, Jimmy. He's just kind of like Shesterkin. Shesterkin, guys, he's not a fast goalie. Like he's kind of slow there, but his positioning is just so good. And Soderblom, he does have, I believe, from what I'm seeing, his positioning's good. So anytime you got a goalie that's good at staying in the net and not just running out of there like Neto Djokovic does half the time, I think he got a chance in this league. So Soderblom's probably got their best chance to win, but defensively, Jim, they're banged up. Jack Johnson, he's their top defenseman here with Jake McCabe, Tenorti, Murphy, who's just been a disappointment in my opinion. Philip Rose, and then Caleb Jones. LA Kings, guys, they got some of the top offense in this league. Velarde, a lot of people know. I know Vabano's been hitting a lot of player props with him. Quick, he hasn't been as good, but he's been falling off in my opinion, Jim. But you got a Chicago team that they were scoring at the beginning of the year, but it's fallen off. Well, I shouldn't say it's fallen off too much. They just didn't score against the Islanders, who are a good defensive team, but give me the LA Kings regulation -106.
Yeah, I agree. I'm be on the Kings -1. I don't like all the money on them, but I want to take advantage of the Blackhawks now. And if the Blackhawks didn't get off to an okay start, this would be a -200 for sure. Excuse me, and it'll end up -200. So, Gogster.
Keep an eye on. Sorry, Jim. Keep an eye on Soderblom, because if he's not ready yet, then they're in deep trouble. Because if Stalock's not ready to go, then who else are they going to go to? They're really hurting. So Soderblom is going to be heavily relied on for Chicago for the next few games at least.
Let's keep rolling. Predators up next against the Flames, an angry Flames group. Fuck, man. The Oilers are just playing such good hockey that the Flames know that they can't slip up here. Man.
Want me to take over? You good?
Yeah, take over.
All right, so we got Nashville, Calgary here, guys. Saros, Markstrom. Well, Calgary, losing 5-4 to Seattle. That's pretty disappointing right there after coming off a 3-2 loss to Edmonton. And now you got a Nashville team that they don't know how to win. They don't know how to hit water if they fell out of a boat, as they say, guys. Hope Jimmy's doing okay there. 13% power play for Nashville, 82% penalty kill in their last 10 games, 23% power play for Calgary, 77% penalty kill last 10 games. Both teams are healthy too. What I'm going to go with here, guys, we haven't had any of these yet in the show, but we're doing both teams to score first period in this one between Nashville and Calgary. Just two pissed off teams. You're going to have the last thing I'm going to see is some slow dumping chases. I think you're going to see some hard forechecks. Saros too has been a disappointment so far. Markstrom, he's kind of he's been okay, .903 save percentage thus far, but when you got two teams, in my opinion, guys, coming off these losses, now, yeah, they could be preaching defense, but in my opinion, there's going to be some goals here. Both teams are just, especially Nashville, they're having a hard time stopping the puck. So I'd like to see what you guys in the chat have to say about this one. Jose, what's going on?
Hello. Were you a Red Wings guy or were you an Avalanche guy?
Red Wings. My uncle played for the Wings back in the 60s.
Wow.
Facts.
Well, that's disappointing to hear. I was more of an Avalanche guy. Gogster, let's hear your thoughts on Devils Oilers so we can perhaps speed the show along a little bit, but I don't know.
All right, let's do this one. What's going on? Noli says, what up?
Hello, Noli.
What's going on, Noli? Yeah, this one here, New Jersey Devils, Edmonton. These are both teams are high flying, most amount of shots in the league. So if you like goals, this is probably going to be your game, Jose. Vanacek and Campbell, both power plays are humming over 20%, 33% for the Edmonton Oilers in the last 10 games. Said it, shots on goal are very high. Goals 36 and 41 last 10 games. That's an average of 3.6, 4.1. Short and sweet. First period, Jose, both teams to score. I'm going to rock with this one as well. It's going to be plus 120, and the Calgary-Nashville one, guys, is going to be plus 140. So, again, you hit one of those, you made a little bit of money today. If you hit both, you're laughing. I think we're going to get some goals here in Alberta. Both teams are at home, especially the Calgary-Nashville one. Two pissed-off hockey teams. And then on the other angle here, you got the Devils and the Oilers, who, as you guys all know, they're just gunslingers. They can just go up and down the ice like it's nothing. So, Jimmy, how you doing? Good?
I'm good. Got some Neocitrin going. I'll be back in action. I apologize. What did you do on Nashville, Calgary?
Same thing. Both teams to score in the first period, plus 140 in that one. I was just saying both of these teams, Jimmy, just coming off those losses. It's been both of them have lost the last two games. I think we're going to see some offense, especially from Calgary here. Nashville just hasn't been able to stop anything either. So I got to see some goals here. And then the Devils, Edmonton, as I'm saying, both teams go up and down the ice like it's nothing.
I wouldn't mind talking a little bit more about that spot for a second, and we're going to get into NFL right after this. But I think the Flames are an angry group. I'd like to know where the line is and where the cash is on that game. But Huberdeau has 1 assist, even strength, in 8 games. That's it. 1 assist. Kadri's playing well, but enjoy that for the next 8 years. I mean, Barkov, he had people don't now look. There's problems in Florida not having Huberdeau on the power play, but Barkov is a top 5, definitely a top 10 player in the NHL. Maybe not quite top 5, but a top 10 player in the NHL. And he's going to notice that things are a little more difficult without Barkov, who wins face-offs, plays defensive, is accountable, does everything.
Yeah. Minus 170, Jim. Open, I'm seeing at 365. It's now minus 200, so 30-cent move towards Calgary.
Yeah, and cash flow, 92% of tickets, 89% of the cash on Calgary. They got to be very angry after that loss.
That screwed me there. I was on a money line parlay with Calgary over Seattle. That did surprise me. So in Nashville, you can't trust them right now. These guys, holy Jesus, they got more problems than St. Louis, some of these other teams. So you'd think Calgary get her done here.
The Devils in the Oilers game, Devils coming off their 4th straight win, 5-2 at Vancouver on Tuesday. They've outscored their opponents in those 4 games 19-5. That's how good the New Jersey Devils are playing right now.
You remember, sorry, Jim, remember Utica? Remember I was saying how good Utica was a couple years ago or last year? Now it's starting to show. A lot of these guys are coming up, and they got offense. They got a lot of offense. So this should be a fun. If you like goals, I was saying this should be your game.
So you moved on both teams to score?
In the first period, yeah. If you got a book where it gives out both teams to score 3 goals, I wouldn't even mind that. Because I think Edmonton win this one, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Devils do. One of these goalies got to show up.
What did you get for Edmonton Devils, both teams to score?
Plus $1.20. Plus 120.
both teams have won 4 straight, and I'd love to see where the cash is on the Devils game here with New Jersey Edmonton. You have 29% of the tickets and 74% of the cash on the Devils. I'd love to bet that the Oilers are going to stop this from happening, but I can't do it. I mean, they're just dominating right now. Dommy Gun says I took the Devils team total over 3.5 at plus 135.
I like that.
Wow. Pennybomb says if Vancouver loses to Anaheim, can they fire Boudreau? It's not Boudreau's fault. Boudreau didn't sign all these horrific contracts that Benning did. I mean, I don't blame Boudreau. We're almost done here. Let's finish off Dallas Stars, Arizona Coyotes. We're at Mullet Arena in Tempe. This team should be in Quebec City. There should not be a 5,000-seat arena in the NHL. It's absolutely embarrassing. I have Wedgwood Ingram. Do you?
I do. I have Ingram for sure. Yeah, both of them because, Ottinger's hurt. So, yeah.
Ottinger is hurt. It's going to hurt them. Wedgwood's not look good. 3.65 ERA. Goals against average. 895 save percentage. Stars coming off their second win in 3 games, 5-2 at home over Dallas. They're playing really good hockey. Arizona's playing good hockey. 32.4% power play, 82.9% penalty killing. What do you think here, Gogster?
Ingram's actually been a lot better than, he's not that bad. Like he's been in the AHL for a while, but he can steal a game. And Wedgwood, I remember last year, he was able to steal games too. This is a tough one. Power plays are both humming over 20%. You're got a 5-2 win. Dallas are coming off of Arizona, though, coming off that 3-1 win against Florida, Jim. I had Florida in a money line parlay, too. Got absolutely smacked in that one. I don't got much on this. I have a lean to the over 6 at minus 110. Both team goals against here. Arizona's allowed 40 in their last 10 games. Shots against, this is awful here. Shots against 36, shots for 22 on average. So not getting enough pucks on net's probably not going to get her done for Arizona. It could be a Dallas play, but it's tough for me to trust her. If it was Ottinger, I'd be all over Dallas. But with Wedgwood, you never know. You never know. Lean to the over.
Yeah, I just the teams we thought, again, I've said it, the Habs, the Coyotes, the Blackhawks, there's no value in fading them at this point at all. But the Stars look really strong at home.
Yeah.
How will they handle this 5,000-seat arena? I don't know. With Wedgwood in net against Connor Ingram, I don't know. Let's go on to Ducks Canucks. We have our guy, AJ1337, going to be there tonight. It is the Bieksa retirement number. I guess he's going to the Ring of Honor, I guess. Rogers Arena, Vancouver, BC. John Gibson versus Thatcher Demko. Both these goalies have been very poor this year. I was talking about things I've been wrong about. I was really wrong about Mason McTavish. He's playing 6 minutes a game now on the fourth line, and they shouldn't have him in the NHL if they're going to do that with him. I'm sure they're having that conversation as we speak. Anaheim's power play is at 6.7%. It's wild with all that talent, but no Getzlaf winning faceoffs and standing in front of the net. Vancouver power play at 27.8%, penalty killing at 60%. Both teams penalty killing at 60%. Ducks come in off their second straight win, 6-5 in a shootout at San Jose on Tuesday night. The Canucks had their 2-game winning streak snapped in a 5-2 loss at home to the Devils on Tuesday night. So let's take a quick look at the line history here. One more game after this, and then we'll get into NFL. We have the Canucks opening up at minus 155. They're now at minus 170. And from a total standpoint, it opened up at 6 at plus 101. It's now under 6 at plus 103. And we go over to the cash here. We have 84% of the tickets and 98% of the cash on the Canucks. Then 87% of the tickets and 91% cash on the over. Interesting. Take it away, Gogster.
I got down Vancouver regulation minus 109 written down. I don't know. I think goals could be the play here against. Funny late in the evening here, guys. We could see a lot of goals. Gibson's going. Gibson and Demko, both of their save percentages are below 900. Coming off a 7-6 win from Anaheim and then a 4-3 win against Toronto. So Anaheim's been playing good hockey. I'm kind of getting cold feet on the Vancouver regulation, Jim, to be honest. I think just the offense for Anaheim, that's what they can do. It's against tough defensive teams. I think they're going to struggle against. And what is Besser out too, Jimmy? I think he's questionable. So
we think he's going to come back tonight. It's not a jersey retirement. I mean, if Garth Butcher doesn't get his jersey retired, then why would Bieksa, right?
Yeah. What do you do as a Vancouver expert here? Are you on Vancouver, Jim, or
I would like to be.
confidently?
No, I can't. I just don't think that you can. I mean, after the Devils come in and destroy them.
That's a good hockey team, though. Devils are a much better team than
the Ducks. Yeah, I mean, do I want to sit? Because right now I'd be sitting here with the Canucks on the -1 line, the Flames on the -1 line, and the Kings on the -1 line. And while I agree that those are strong looks, I'm also on games where 95% of the cash is on that one side. I've often said to you guys that in NHL, it's not as that when there's gifts, they're actually gifts. Mike M says Ducks 4 wins in a row as a dog versus Vancouver. The Canucks can't be trusted, but this is probably a fair number.
I feel like this could just be another back and more. I'm thinking about it, Jim. Is this not just going to be back and forth offense?
When is Demko going to be a top goaltender? And the Mikheyev Kuzmenko line, I think, is very good.
Oh yeah, I like that line. Yeah. Yeah.
I lean towards the Canucks -1, but I can't do it. I'm not going to do it. They don't deserve it.
Me neither. You're saying me? Yeah, you're right. They do not deserve that money. After what's been going on, I'm going to stay off this. If anything, this might be another both teams to score first period. Both teams have maybe scored 3 goals. I do think there's going to be goals here. Both teams, Jimmy, have allowed in the last 10 games 40-plus goals. So that's 4.0 goals allowed in the last 10 games. They have offense. They don't really have defense. Their goaltenders are getting left out to dry. Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough. Did you make an official pick here? Slatsy's on the first period over.
What is that, Slatsy?
Well, let's talk about the final spot on.
Yeah, I got nothing in that game. I lean to the overs, guys.
Yeah, I do too. But I mean, when's Demko going to wake up? Because he's going to wake up at some point.
Anaheim. Sorry.
Final game on the board: Florida Panthers 5-4-1, 2-4-0 on the road at San Jose Sharks, 3-8-1, 1-5-1 at home. I kind of want the Panthers to struggle a bit right now before Ekblad gets back, because if they do struggle enough, I'm going to move on them in certain future markets, not to win the cup, but in certain like the division, and I might have some interest in having a conference ticket. Bobrovsky, Reimer. Bobrovsky, 3.06 goals against average, 8.97 save percentage. We're waiting for Spencer Knight to take over. Reimer's been good for the Sharks. Florida power plays at 9.1%, penalty killing 71.8. San Jose's playing pretty well. I mean, I know they're 3-8-1, but they're playing better than we expected them to play. They're penalty killing at 94.4%. Panthers lost their third in 4 games, 3-1 at Arizona on Tuesday night. You have to think they're an angry group. Sharks lost their third in 4 games, 6-5 at home to the Ducks on Tuesday night. Let's take a look at the line history here, and then we move into NFL after this and NCAA football right after that. For this line history, we have the Sharks opening up at plus 186. They're now plus 175, so you had an 11-cent move towards the Sharks. This total opened up at 6.5, juiced to the over. It's now juiced to the under. And Florida's just not scoring. Cash flow, you have 30% of the tickets, 38% of the cash on San Jose. 78% of the tickets, 88% of the cash on the over. You have that money coming in on the over, and yet the under is being juiced. Take it away for us, Gogster. Last spot on the board here, Panthers Sharks.
Oh, this is the get out special, the old Nevada Classic here, the Hawaii special, as they say. That's an ugly one, Jen. You said those numbers. What money's coming on the over, but the line's going to the under. Reimer has been better of the two. Penalty kill for the Panthers has been 71%. Compare that to San Jose. Without Brent Burns, it's still 93%. Florida's got a 9% power play, 18% for San Jose. You know what? I want nothing to do with Florida after what they, just butchered that. Arizona's been playing okay, but just 1 goal against Arizona. I want nothing to do with this game. I lean to chat. Yeah, what do you guys got? I got absolutely nothing in this one, to be honest, Jimmy. I don't want nothing. 10-foot pole, as they say. Nothing. Get it out of here. It stinks.
I think that you can't. Now, we saw Florida step up last year when Ekblad went down, but it's not happening this year. It's not happening right now. Obviously, they lost Weegar too. So right now, Gustav Forsling and Brandon Montour are playing so much. Radko Gudas is got poor Corsi numbers. He hits hard, doesn't do enough else. should Mark Stahl have a job in the NHL? Their defense is weak. You have Josh Mahura and Lucas Carlson. Sam Reinhart's doing nothing for this hockey team. Yeah, you just can't. With the Panthers, the way they're set up right now, without Ekblad being a big favorite on the road, should just not be backed.
I agree. And they got bad goaltending. I know we're talking highly on Knight, but I haven't seen, I got to see more out of Knight. And I don't like the coach. I don't know about you, but, Maurice leaving Winnipeg and now he's on Florida. I don't know about Maurice. I feel like he's, I don't know. I'm not very high on him. And it's kind of showing how their inconsistency. That's what Winnipeg was for the last 5-10 years, inconsistent hockey team. And now it's coming to Florida. So nothing to do with this game. Might not even watch it.
If we don't want the Canucks or the Panthers, then the Ducks and Sharks, are probably live.
One of those hit too. You're in black. Yeah.
This was a tricky NHL, and I'm sorry it took so long, you guys. 13 games on it. Let's review all action here. We have Gogster on Detroit first period and Detroit full game. I like it. I like what you're doing here after that 8-3 loss.
Yep. Washington's banged up too.
They're so banged up. And you have this angry Detroit Red Wings group that's not playing very well.
With Huso in net.
Yeah. I agree with it, but I can't do it. Vegas spreadsheet play today for Ron Crawford. Vegas at Ottawa. I'm off that. Gogster's no goal first 10 minutes at plus 135 in Carolina, Tampa.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be on the first period under 1.5 at plus 125.
I like that.
Gogster's got no goal in the first 10 minutes at plus 120. I'm interested in both the Rangers and the under.
Yeah, Boston.
I'm looking at the Bruins team total under 2.5 at plus 125. I'm going to get involved in this game. I do think it'll be with the Rangers. I think they step up here. Madison Square Garden's going to be bananas in this against the Bruins. Then Gogster is Seattle team total over 2.5 in regulation at minus 127. Seattle first period at plus 130 and Seattle full game at plus 150.
All right, let me finish it off here. I got also the Devils, Edmonton, first period, both teams to score plus 120. Nashville, Calgary, both teams to score plus 140. And I'm also have full game under 6 minus 114. I added that one between the Islanders and the St. Louis Blues. I believe that's all of them, Jim.
Yeah, and I'm going to move on the Kings minus 1. I'm going to put my foot on the throat of the Blackhawks, especially at home when you get a price. And the Flames minus 1. All right, let's move on here to NFL. Thank you guys for hanging with us through NHL. We move on to NFL. We're having a hell of a season. 60-34, 63.8%, plus 22.7 units. ROI plus 24.15%. Average line minus 110. I do have 6 spots that I've moved on the NFL card.
Oh.
I moved on the Dolphins Bears over 45.5 at minus 110. I moved on the Colts plus 5.5. The Colts Patriots under 39.5. Buffalo New York Jets under 47. The Commanders plus 3.5 and the Raiders minus 1. Those are my 6 spots here. And this is a very strange, huge dog in the Texans at home that nobody wants anything to do with. Usually on a Thursday short week, there'd be some sort of sign, some sort of sharp action or the market moving towards them or something. None of that is happening. None of that's happening here. 8:15 p.m. Eastern, Eagles, Texans, Energy Stadium in Houston, Texas. 13 points on the road. They're laying. That was the second highest spread of 2022. Now it's the highest spread. Let's go over to the line history here, and then we'll move over to the cash flow. Line history-wise, now this opened before the Texans looked so bad against the Titans. There were books that had this at 9.5. It's moved to 13.5 at Pinnacle. It was at 14 at Pinnacle. So there's your first sign that 14 is too much on a short week. It moved back to 13.5 at 4:46 p.m. yesterday. This 13.5 is juiced to minus 115 for Philly. That's at Bookmaker. Let's see what Pinnacle is doing. Pinnacle has it at 14, but if you want the Eagles at minus 14, it's plus 103. It was minus 105. Connor Mack will be live right here on Pub Sports Radio breaking this football game down. From a totals perspective, it opened up at 43. It's up to 45.5. Let's take a look at the cash flow here in this one. We have 87,876 tickets in. 21% of the tickets, 32% of the cash is on Houston. So this is new. This had been over 80% on both tickets and spread on the Eagles. So this is new that there is some bigger bets coming in on Houston, and we saw it move to 13.5 at Bookmaker. Then you have 51% of the tickets and 83% of the cash on the under, but it's gone up to 45.5. We got prop bets and looks from a bunch of the cappers here on the board. Stimmy got in on the Eagles at minus 13. Mike M says couple trends when AFC plays NFC on Thursday and fave greater than minus 7. The fave is 12-1.
Wow.
So he's on the Eagles minus 13.5.
Was the spread
Andrew
that
G
high?
says, give me the plus 14.
That's what I'm thinking.
Top Crocodile says, since 2020, road favorites of 13 or more points are 3-10 against the spread. That's a great stat, Top Crocodile.
Great stat.
LJ from H-Town says, NFL prop bets, Miles Sanders over 81.5 rush yards, minus 121. Miles Sanders anytime TD at plus 100. Davis Mills under 207.5 pass yards. And Hassan Reddick over a half sack at plus 122. New Cooker says, not laying 2 TDs on the road with anybody anymore. Says, been there, done that, it rarely works. Yeah, I mean, with this situation, and we'll break down some more pieces and parts of it, but I couldn't figure out how to move on it. Franco White says Philly team total under. It's one of the main things we've seen from the Eagles team. They put up 147 points in the first half and like 49 in the second half. So I stayed off of the Eagles first half minus 6 against the Steelers. The sharps were on the Steelers. And now it looks like there's some sharp money on the Texans. When I don't move on a bet that cashes and then I move on it again the next week, my ROI is terrible. So I'm hesitant to do that. The Eagles come in off a dominant 35-13 win over the Steelers. They're 7-0 for the second time in franchise history. Last time was that McNabb Super Bowl in 04. Jalen Hurts is getting anything he wants. He's big plays. And we talked about Rodgers having 3 passes over 20 yards last time. Jalen Hurts had 4 touchdown passes over 25-plus yards. I mean, the only player with more than 4 of 25-plus in the game was Dan Marino in 1994. A.J. Brown's a monster, 156 yards. He had 3 touchdowns in the first half. So I understand that people want the Eagles' first half. Their DVOA is 13th in the second half. Mm-hmm. In the first half, it's number 1. They have the second fastest pace per play in the first half. It feels maybe like a first half over, a full game under, but that might be getting too cute. The Texans have the NFL worst run defense. So we know what the Eagles are going to do. They just want to get in and out. Get the win, get out. They're going to run the ball heavy, destroy the Texas run defense allows 6.3 yards per carry. That's over the last 3 games. But, I mean, it's just atrocious. Let's hear how Mr. Gogster plans on getting paid, and I'm going to keep an eye on the chat. So take it away for us, Gogster, Thursday Night Football.
Well, I agree with you. It's kind of tough to find an angle here. Where do I start? Okay, stats. First in passing D, Philadelphia. So passing is not going to be, I agree with some in the chat there said under and Davis Mills. That makes sense. Passing D is number 1, and they're 28th on passing offense, Houston. So the spread, I see why it's 14, but if you look at Houston here, they've only lost by 14 points or more once, Jimmy. That was against Vegas. Other than that, they haven't lost by that much. And they haven't lost by, what else do I have here? Oh, so many stats. Combined, what I'm going to get to here is their combined, they allowed over 300 rushing yards, Jimmy, to Tennessee last week. But Tennessee, they got Henry and whatnot. The reason why, sorry, I'm all over the place here, guys. Damian Pierce, he had a rough game last week. He was going up against, though, Jimmy, Tennessee's first in rushing yards allowed. They're number one. So that's why Damian Pierce didn't really have a day. If you look at what Pierce did, though, his last 4 games, Jimmy, before that, 92 against Las Vegas, 99 against Jacksonville, 131 against the Chargers, 80 yards against Chicago. Damian Pierce is going to be the one they're going to go to. That's where I think we're going to make some money here this week, Jimmy, is Damian Pierce. He's going to be their guy because the Eagles are going to score. We all know they're going to score. Injuries for the Texans. They got a DB, a D-line, linebacker, D-lineman. They got a lot of guys on defense that are banged up. So they're going to have a hard time, I think, stopping. Jimmy said how fast they like to go with the Eagles. So I was going to take the Eagles team total under, but I'm going to lay off that. I'm just going to go with 3 props here, Jim. Damian Pierce, he's also really good out of the backfield, guys. He's had last 4 games, he's had over 2.5 receptions. He's had 3 against Tennessee, 4 against the Raiders, 3 against the Jaguars, and then 6 against the Chargers. So Davis Mills should be dumping it off to him because the secondary is so good too for the Eagles. So over 2.5 receptions, Jimmy, on Damian Pierce, minus 140. I believe that should still be live there. Damian Pierce over receptions, minus 140. Also, Damian Pierce, he's as I was going over the rushing yards, guys, he's been able to rush. He went up against the best rushing D last week in Tennessee. So give me over 63 rushing yards for Damian Pierce. They want to keep the Eagles off the field to keep the play clock, keep the time moving. So get a lot of Pierce action there. So over 63.5, minus 113. And then over Damian Pierce rushing attempts, Jimmy, 15.5 at minus 120. He's averaged he's got 20, 26, 15, 14, 20. Yeah, I expect them to rely on him heavily here. So Damian Pierce, 3 ways here, guys. Over receptions, 2.5, rushing yards over 63.5, and over 15.5 rushing attempts, Jimmy.
I get it. Spenny talking about how the Eagles have allowed the 6th fewest rush yards, all year at 826. I think part of the reason, not to say that their rush defense isn't strong, is that they've been ahead in a lot of these games, and the teams have been forced to throw the ball on them in the second half. So, I just
don't think that Houston have that makeup to, and also the Eagles are number 1 in passing D. They're 9th best in rushing D. So they're really good defense either way. I think throwing the ball is the last thing they want to do. They can't just go throw 3 and out, boom. Here you go, Eagles. Here's the ball, touchdown. It's going to get ugly quick. I think they're going to have to run the ball, especially in the first half, Jimmy. Just run the ball, move the clock. So I think the over rushing attempts, he's done it too in his last 4 of his last 5 games, both rushing over that 63 and the attempts. And then Pierce's receptions, he's had over 3 receptions in 4 of his last 5 games. That's minus 140, but I'm really high on that one too. Damian Pierce, I think that's how I'm going to get paid this week, Jimmy. It's because the side totals, it's tough. It's really tough. I had to lean to the Eagles team total under 29.5, but the injuries for the Texans D, I'll stay off.
We have a few different cappers looking at the Texans money line.
Wow.
Looking for a big score. I mean, Jay Peasy says, does the fact that this is Jalen Hurts' homecoming to Houston change how you think Philly will be motivated to throw, score, show out?
Yeah, I think they do. I think I'm going off like Houston's game plan here. Like they can't have the ball can't be in Hurts' hands a lot. It's like when Brady and all those good Manning, right? You don't want to give him the ball. So that, in my opinion, that means Damian Pierce, he's gonna be relied on, and he's also been used a lot, dumping the ball off, receiving. So I think he gets some checkdowns too. I don't like his over yards receiving just because he's averaged no more than he hasn't had more than 25 receiving yards in his last 5 games, but he gets a lot of those receptions. So
a couple cappers have asked how to become a member here at Pub. We have it's just on our YouTube page to join, but we'll get Jose to pop the link here in the chat. And thank you guys for supporting the show and the channel. It means a ton to us. Rob says stay away from full game. Good chance for a backdoor cover. Lucas Ryan says, absolutely love the Eagles team total over.
Interesting.
I legitimately you guys know that I stopped moving on props about a year and a half ago or so, and not that I haven't seen many cappers succeed with them, but you just that's why you track your actions, see what you succeed with.
Yeah.
Danielson says Eagles are bad at stopping the run. Plus, look at who the Eagles have played. Houston has only lost to opponent by 10 points once this year.
That's what I said. Yeah, there was only once, and it was against the Chargers. And also, look at who the Eagles have played on the road, guys. Arizona, Washington, and Detroit. They haven't had any real competition, in my opinion, Jim. 2-1 to the under. They're 1-2 ATS, 2 on the road. So I think if you can push that up to 14.5, like if you can get 14.5, maybe, like if it's juiced to 14 minus 120 on the Eagles, maybe try and get to 14.5, because I think that could be a little bit of points. It's just, Jim, the injuries to Houston's D, they really might not be able to stop the Eagles at all. So yeah, I think Pierce, like it was a tough game for me to make a bet. It took me a while, but I'm sitting with Damian Pierce to be the go-to guy here. Please don't get hurt, please.
The fact that there's sharp action, or 51% of tickets, 84% cash on the under, and the total just keeps rising is confusing. I would love to expect a low. Now, maybe this is what C-Mac and the boys maybe will look to do during the game, is hammer the under if there's early action.
Also, what about the World Series vibe? Is there the World Series with Houston? A Thursday night game. I don't know that. Oh yeah, Philly Houston. Wow, this is the World Series. Wow, I just clicked in. This is a World Series game.
Yeah. There's talk about that, but unfortunately, the Texans are 1-5-1 on the year. Raven in the Desert says 34-17 possible backdoor.
They are 3-3-1 ATS, Jim.
I have nothing here, and there's just nothing that appeals to me. And we don't just give out plays for fun.
No.
So I'm not moving on the game. The game, this is just in a long line of atrocious Thursday nighters.
It all started with my Broncos. Yeah, I like Damian Pierce, guys. I think keep an eye on him. I think they're gonna have to use him. I'm saying slow down Hurts. Yeah, let's go, Mr. Pierce out of Florida, 4th round pick. Let's go.
All right, Earl Sports Bets giving us a final score of 21-17 Texans. Dabby Cab on Coastal Carolina first half. I can't wait to talk. The best football game tonight is App State, Coastal Carolina.
Anytime there's an App State game, I'll tune in. I know anything can happen.
So Vasilevsky's a lot better than Patrick Waugh, right? Because those games fucking high scoring. Those guys sucked.
Ooh, that's coming in with a hot take there. Ooh.
Patrick Waugh stunk. All those games were fucking high scoring. Andre Vasilevsky could just stop them all, apparently.
Yeah, nowadays you can't touch the goalie, or else your 5-minute penalty, 2-minute penalty. Back in the day, they'd be running goalies. Goalies would be fucking, you know what I mean, Jim? No?
Vasilevsky is, at this point, probably, maybe he's very, very close to Patrick Waugh, but I certainly wouldn't give him a better than Patrick Waugh at this point.
It's it's a hot take. You came in with a hot take there, Jose. That could be a whole show.
All the goals, all the games were like 6-5, 4-4, fucking high scoring bullshits, and I'm seeing Vasilevsky just shutouts on game 7s.
Are you doing the What If Sports?
No. I just watched a documentary on the fucking, what are they called? The Avalanche and the Red Wings.
We have enormously important work to do here, Jose.
This is breaking news. I gotta ask.
We have our Cappers contest show at 2 p.m.
Oh yeah, it's coming soon.
Yeah, so let's get back to work here.
I gotta work soon.
Back to work. I'm not used to him using the breaking news for this, but he's trying to bring.
He's got the hockey takes. Yeah.
He's bringing levity to the show. Is that it?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. We got lots of props from lots of cappers, and I wish you guys all the best. But I am not going to be able to make moves on this football game. So I hope to make moves on college football, which is right next. We have LJ's looks. He's on Miles Sanders, heavy. Davis Mills under passing yards. Hassan Reddick over a half sack. And our Mr. Gogster is on Pierce over 2.5 receptions at minus 140, over 63.5 rush yards at minus 113, and over 15.5 rush attempts at minus 120.
I'd love to hear what you think about that, LJ from H-Town. I know you're the expert, my guy. Yeah. And also that App State game. Tune in. Yeah, I look forward to that breakdown coming up with App State. Jimmy, it's been a pleasure, my guy, as always. Capping 13 games with you guys. It's nothing I'd rather do here. Dallas Stars. We got the Stars hat. I have to get some more hats in the rotation, Jim. I keep wearing the Stars hat. People probably think I only have one hat in the rotation, but yeah, I do actually have one hat in the rotation. Anyways, I'm going to get some more hats. Guys, be good. Cash some tickets. We'll see you next Tuesday with Pete Loshak. And, let's go Damian Pierce. Hopefully he gets the rock. I expect him to. And, we'll see you next time, guys. Be good.
Much love, Mr. Gogster. He will be back on NFL Pub Hub on Sunday as well. Yeah, Eddie, I don't dislike the Ducks Canucks over 6. I'm very confused with how both these goaltenders have played. But let's move into college football. We talk about our success in NFL. We've been very successful in college football with just a lower quantity of action. We're coming off a 1-1 day yesterday. I still have no idea why that field goal was kicked. I'm pretty sure that he was doing it to cover for his friends because there was no reason to kick the field goal. And so, but, I cashed on Western Michigan team total under 20.5, lost on the Bowling Green -5. And it's the first time I've gone up against the Sharps in about 3 weeks. And of course, I take an L for doing it. Let's move on to today's college football. We do not start with the big game in Conway, South Carolina. We start with the UTEP Miners, 4-5, 2-3 in conference at the Rice Owls, 4-4, 2-2 in conference. We're at Rice Stadium in Houston, Texas. We'll start with the line history here. Open with UTEP +4. There was a little bit where Rice took the half point at -4.5. There was a little bit there, but it's back at 4. From a totals perspective, it opened up at 49.5, and it's been dropping. It's now at 47. We had a full point drop at 9:54 a.m. from 48 to 47. So it's dropped 2.5 points. Take a look, and we read the spreadsheet spot for UTEP. Eddie Euler played UTEP +4.5 earlier. Let's take a look at the cash flow here. We have 9,696 tickets in. 56% of the tickets are on Rice and 88% of the cash. Also, 52% of tickets and 85% of cash on the under. So sharp money on Rice, line not moving. We'll start with UTEP. UTEP comes in off their second loss in 3 games, a 24-13 setback at home on Saturday versus Middle Tennessee as 2.5-point favorites. Their junior quarterback, Gavin Hardison, has not been good this year. He has worse numbers than last year, and they're bad. He's completing 52.5% of his passes with 10 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. To kind of hit home how bad Hardison's been this year is that they have the best receiver in the conference, in Tyron Smith, who has 803 yards receiving. We'll talk about Rice's secondary. The biggest question in this game is, does Rice have somebody who can hold or slow down Tyron Smith? The Miners running backs are strong and were not used enough for Middle Tennessee. Dana Dimmel, is going, he got railed in the press for not using his running game. You have Deion Hankins with 547 yards rushing, Ronald Owett with 524 yards rushing, and then you have Ronaldo Flores out of the backfield. He's caught 472 yards. He's caught 42 catches, 42 passes out of the backfield. This 3-headed monster was not used enough last week. They have the best kicker in the conference and gave him Bakley. Bakley 17 of 18 on field goals this year. So with UTEP, You have a quarterback who's playing poorly. One receiver that you need to worry about who's very, very good. An excellent running game that for some reason wasn't used. And you have the best kicker in the country or in the conference. All right. So, and look at that 10-star play today from Rod Zawacki, Oilers, Devils under. And Rod Zawacki's on UTEP plus the points. Everybody here has said UTEP. Everybody. Why would everybody be saying UTEP? It's because Rice just lost to a one-win team, 56-23 at home. That being Charlotte. And the last two games, Rice has allowed 500-plus yards, but their defense was good all year. Rice was just embarrassed at home. Now, neither team has a home field advantage. Rice has a little more than UTEP. When UTEP plays at home, they get 20% of the seats filled. So, Rob Free says Rice was a minus 15.5 favorite last week at home. It lost by 33. And that's why nobody wants Rice. There's a recency bias here. Now, I'm not saying that Rod and all you guys, Stimmy and more, don't have legitimate reasons why you want to be backing UTEP. But let's talk about Rice. So they just let Charlotte, who had just fired Will Healy, put up 54 points and eight touchdowns on them as 15-point dogs. It was Rice's first home loss of the season. Clearly, they came in overconfident. Junior quarterback TJ McMahon, I think, is better than Gardison. Over his last two games, he's got 6 touchdowns and 1 interception. Last week's loss was not on him. He threw for 370 yards. They have a sophomore receiver in Luke McCaffrey, who has 47 catches, 7 touchdowns, 646 yards. They have another receiver in Rosner, 27 catches, 579 yards. They have a senior running back in Cameron Montgomery, who averages 6.5 yards per run. He's not used more. I don't know why. They use Ari Broussard more, and it doesn't make sense. The UTEP defense they will be facing is the second best in the conference. 355.4 yards per game they're allowing. They're a really good defense. And I can understand why, looking at this, you guys would be on UTEP. But it's impossible not to notice that the big bets are all over Rice. It's also impossible not to notice that the market's not moving in Rice's direction. So, sorry, I'm going to need... God, this has been a rough day for me. I don't know. I thought I was in good shape coming into this, but... Jose, are you there for a second? I need to regroup quickly. I'm just going to regroup. Give me a second. I'll be right back.
Jesus, and we're muted too. We're messing up. Everything's going to shit here. But let's talk about our next game, because I think it's going to be a very interesting game. Not App State, Coastal Carolina, the baseball game. Psych, you guys thought we're talking Coastal Carolina. No, we're to talk about the baseball game fully here in a minute. But those Philadelphia Phillies coming out with no bats, nearly one hit last night was shocking. I believed in Christian Javier as well. I went 1-3 last night when I had the winning bet the whole time and Houston money line, and I just made some dumb additions. So I shout out to everyone that was on the Astros last night, and we appreciate it. Now, back to your regularly scheduled programming.
Hello, guys. Sorry, I'm back in action, and I feel much better. So it's impossible not to notice that the sharp money here is on Rice with the market not moving. With that being the case, let's check out what Pinnacle has done with this. Pinnacle opened this up with Rice minus 3.5. Rice got up to -4.5 and is now at -4. I think that Rice is the bet. We talk about the buying low and selling high. It doesn't exist more than in college football. It doesn't. And everybody just saw Rice get their asses kicked, and yet there's still sharp money on them. So, what would I get Rice at right now? I also think Rice has a better quarterback, and Rice just got embarrassed. That's where I want my football. I want my football team to have just been embarrassed. So, I'm going to move on Rice. And UTEP feels good about themselves. Rice just got and both these teams, they're trying to still get a bowl berth. Rice has been so bad for so long. I guess when it comes down to it, I want Rice in the first half. I want Rice in the first half under a field goal. And Maddie has Rice by 7.5 points. And Brandon Cooks is out for tonight. So I'm going to move on Rice. The question is, and I do think I move on them first half. This was a team having a renaissance season. And then they just took a team too lightly and were completely embarrassed. And now get to get right back at it 5 days later. I'm going to move on Rice first half -2.5 to come out and to take care of business. All right, I'm on the board in college football. Let's move on to game 2, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. This is the big game. Johnny Gunn says, didn't Rice get embarrassed by the same team UTEP beat a few games back? That's important. Can we go back just for a second here to that's so important because it will remind you of what happened last week. So let's move over to NCAA football. Last week, we had a similar situation. Let's pull it up here from last week's notes. Was it on the Friday or the Thursday? I'm not sure. Let me check out Fridays. I think it was on the Thursday. But last week we had... No, it was on the Thursday. It was the Southern Miss game. I remember it well. Louisiana was playing Southern Miss. They had a similar opponent in a week one. Was it SC State? Fuck, who was it? They had a similar opponent in a real week one. And Louisiana had beaten them by 30 points and had put up 550 yards. And Southern Miss had beaten them by a single point. The Sharps were all over Southern Miss, and the common opponent was hurting everybody's capping. And that's what's so tricky about college football. We spent 10 minutes trying to figure out why Southern Miss was the play. We did it together. And I was going to dig to find out if Southern Miss was the play because it was going to be Southern Miss or no bet because all the Sharps were on Southern Miss. And Southern Miss dominated that football game from start to finish. And so many people were on Louisiana, and the Raging Cajuns lost badly. So I don't care about what happened against Charlotte. What I care about is a team that was undefeated at home got embarrassed. And now they get on the field 5 days later. Arkansas State. Thank you, Andrew Carr. And yes, the Charlotte coach got fired before the game. So yes. And Eddie Euler with Sager in recent form, Rice 4.23. I'm going to take Rice to come out and play really well in the first half. And then maybe UTEP's defense, UTEP's defense is a problem, but that's my move. Okay, let's move on to App State, Coastal Carolina, Brooks Stadium in Conway, South Carolina, quickly becoming a rivalry. But these teams have met 8 times, and App State's won 7 of them. That hurts the rivalry. Let's move over. Johnny's saying, yeah, no, I agree. Johnny Guns, I'm right with you. I agree with you completely. And the success that we've had in college football we've capped it from a completely different point. One of the problems that we make as cappers is we think we're really good. And the fact is, you need to learn how to read all the different parts that are going on in a game. It's not just the X's and O's. I think this team is better than the other team. There's so many things at play, and studying the market has really helped. And you can see the record 25-12. And you've seen me stop betting on Saturdays because I don't break the games down with you. Coastal Carolina opened up as a plus 1.5 point dog. They're now 3-point dogs. That's a big move. From a total standpoint, it opened up at 61, and we've shot all the way up to 64. Let's go over to the cash flow in this one. Coastal Carolina is given line value here from Sports Insights, but all the big bets have come in on App State. 12,332 tickets in, 56% of the tickets, 82% of the cash is on App State. 82% of the tickets, 90% of the cash is on the over. The only App State loss in this rivalry was the last time they came to Conway in 2020. Coastal Carolina won 34-23. That was in Grayson's first game. Or first season, sorry. Game. First season. McCall's first season as quarterback. Let's talk about the situation here. App State comes in off a 42-3 home beatdown of FCS 0-8 Robert Morris. That came on the heels of a 42-17 home beatdown of Georgia State. Coastal Carolina bounced back from their lone loss on the season, 49-21 home loss to Old Dominion, by winning at Marshall 24-13 as 2.5 point dogs. They got up 21-0 in the first quarter and they coasted home. They're 7-1. They control all their Sun Belt fortunes. And they're going up against a Mountaineers offense that is very good. They score 36.9 points per game. They put up 459.6 yards per game. Chase Bryce has been strong all year long. He's completing 64.9% of his passes. He has 22 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. They have a running game led by Cameron Peoples that's top 20 in the nation. They average 208.3 yards per game. And Coastal Carolina's defense is their weakness. That's the situation. The situation is these two offenses are both very good, but one team has a weakness. The question you have to ask yourself when you're capping this game is, do you think that home field advantage for Coastal Carolina trumps their weakness, which is their defense? That's what I think this all comes down to. Coastal Carolina's defense is 98th in the nation, allowing 413.3 yards per game. Their pass defense allows 273.4 yards per game. That's last in the entire Sun Belt. This offense is so good. They have 2-time Sun Belt Offensive Player of the Year, Grayson McCall. He completes 68.8% of his passes. He has 19 touchdowns and 1 interception. If you were to say that you think Grayson McCall is better than Chase Bryce, you're probably right. You're probably right. They have Sam Pinckney, 45 catches for 628 yards. They have CJ Beasley, who runs for 559 yards and 4 touchdowns. App State's defense ranks 18th in the nation, allowing 310.3 yards per game. Their pass defense ranks 15th in the nation. They allow just 179.4 yards per game through the air. They're a little vulnerable on the ground. They're actually 8th in the Sun Belt and 52nd in the nation, allowing 130.9 yards per game. But Carolina Coastal Carolina has the best record in the Sun Belt, quarterbacks in the country, and they have home field advantage. Is that enough? Top Crocodile says Coastal Carolina seems like a square dog. Ross Pitt says, I think home field advantage allows you 3+ points if you're yeah. BJ says, I think Coastal Carolina with the points is the play. Coin says 56% of tickets and 82% cash on the line hasn't moved off the -3 after opening -2. Why hasn't it gone to 3.5 or 4? Because it's too much. That's too much. This opened at 1.5 at Pinnacle. But you bring up an interesting point, Coin. And it was a very interesting point that Razor Sharp brought up when we talked about the Mavericks game. And he was very right about the Mavericks Jazz game last night. So let's pull it up here. So we know that Pinnacle opened it up with App State as 1.5 point favorites. Same with Bet365, 1.5 point favorites. Let's see what Bet Chris, 1 point favorites. Those are big moves. It's hard to move something off at 3.5. Let's see, Will Hill open at 1.5. Now, some of these books went from 3 to 2.5 to 3. So I guess let's just get one last look at the weather here in Conway. Because the only way for Coastal Carolina to win this game is to put up points. And that's why this total has gone from 61 to 64. It's beautiful tonight, too. Perfect weather for football. No wind, sunny or clear. Smith Legacy, we are, definitely Keeneland. Woodbine. I'll be hammering Woodbine. We'll move into Santa Anita. But the main tracks, for us here, as always, are, the Keeneland, Aqueduct, Woodbine, Gulfstream, Santa Anita. Top Crocodile says, in my opinion, the public will take some of Coastal Carolina +3 by kickoff. You're absolutely right. Coin, yes. Coastal Carolina will score. It starts at 11:45 tomorrow morning. Rob Free says it may come down to a late game field goal. That's what line movement says. I agree. Sports Insights does not give Coastal Carolina full line value. They give Coastal Carolina just under 50% line value. But what do we care more about, that Sports Insights gives them the line value, or that the sharp action is clearly on App State? It's just clearly on App State. Now, remember, the only loss happened in this rivalry happened in the exact same situation like this. Would you be surprised if Grayson Call, with no time left in the game, brings Coastal Carolina up for the win? No. But I agree, App State is a better football team than Coastal Carolina. And pronounced Coco says just better team than App State. Nolino says App State. So I'm moving on App State. I think the defense is the difference. One of those fun times where you got the 5-3 team that's 2-2 in the Sun Belt on the road against 7-1, 4-1 in conference, and the road team is the favorite. All right, I'm locked in. Rice first half -2.5. App State -3. There we go. College football breakdown in business. Let's move on to MLB. Our breakdown yesterday was really strong and extremely enjoyable, and a lot of us made cash because of it. Let's bring on the host of Say Hey Plays. Please welcome Jose Bouquet to the show. Jose, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing all right. I had some computer issues last night, so I couldn't record a video, but I fixed them this morning, luckily, and we're all set. And I'll probably cut this and make this the little Say Hey video for today. So shout out to everyone watching.
Well, let's get to work in MLB. We got Noli Nose in the house. Dabby Cab. Let's get to work here. Houston Astros, Philadelphia Phillies, Game 5, Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I know exactly what I want to do in this game, but I haven't looked at the odds at it, and I wanted to talk it out first. Let's start with the weather this evening in Philly. We have 58 Fahrenheit, 5.1 miles per hour, right to left, slightly out. Right to left, slightly out. Justin Verlander going up against Noah Syndergaard. We will then move to the line history in this one, then the cash flow, and then we'll set a quick table and hand it over to young one hole, two fingers Bouquet. The Phillies opened up at plus 136. They're now plus 138. The Astros are minus 150 favorites. From a total perspective, it opened up 7.5, heavily juiced to the under. There's been a 4-cent move to the over. I find it peculiar that there's only been a 4-cent move to the over when I've heard so many cappers talk about wanting to fade these two starting pitchers. 44% of the tickets and 79% of the cash are on the Philadelphia Phillies. Then 40% of the tickets and 70% of the cash is on the under. Lee Davis says Phillies and over. Earl Sports Bet says the Phillies got no hit last night. They're totally done. Phillies first 5 plus 135. Phillies team total over 3.5, and Phillies minus 1.5 at plus 275. Earl Sports Bets all over the Phillies. Eddie Euler says, I think Verlander finally puts it together. Astros minus 0.5 versus 5. Astros full game minus 1. Justin Verlander had a great season, 18-4, 1.75 ERA, 0.83 WHIP. He faced the Phillies on October 4th. He went 5 innings, did not allow a hit, struck out 10 and walked 1. Was excellent on the road all year, 8-3, 1.86 ERA, 169 opponents batting average. He's not been good in the playoffs. He's had 3 starts, and 2 of them have been bad. His last start was in this series. 5 innings, 6 hits, 5 earned runs, 5 Ks, 2 walks, and a 6-5 loss at home versus the Phillies. In the playoffs, he's thrown 15 innings, allowed 19 hits, 12 earned runs, 2 homers, with 19 Ks and 4 walks. Going up against Noah Syndergaard, 10-10, 3.94 ERA, 1.25 WHIP, 134 and 2/3, 95 Ks, 34 walks, 14 home runs. That's combined with the Angels and the Phillies. His last start was 3 innings. Why was it just 3 innings? They've been afraid to pitch him. They've been hiding him. He did not look good down the stretch. In those 3 innings, he allowed 1 home run, struck out 3, didn't walk a batter. It was an 8-3 win. In the playoffs, he's throwing 5 1/3. He's only had that 1 start. Allowed just that 1 jack. Astros versus righties in the playoffs, 223, 678 OPS. Phillies have hit them harder, 204, 703 OPS. Excuse me. And this Astros bullpen continues to pitch spectacularly well, 0.76 ERA, 0.76 WHIP. Phillies bullpen, 2.55 ERA, 1.03 WHIP. Verlander was in control until the 5th inning of that start that he got touched up. That was not the case in the Mariners game. The Mariners were all over him right away, but the Mariners had seen him a whole bunch of times. I do believe that Noah Syndergaard is the most vulnerable spot of these two pitchers. But the Sharps are on the Phillies, and they must be on them for a reason. Let's hear what Jose Bouquet has to say about this spot, Game 5 of the World Series, and we'll decide what decisions to make. Take it away, Jose. Astros, Phillies.
What's funny, I mean, all my bets for the World Series have been kind of the same. Astros -1. They escaped from Philadelphia, thankfully, last night, or they booked a ticket out of there, thankfully. And this is obviously, I think, the most important game for the Phillies, bats-wise. They need to support Syndergaard with the bats here. I do like the over, 7.5. I like the over last night as well, and obviously that kind of got screwed there. But I just think Verlander puts it together at the end of the day. It's just one of those things where you just keep watching and waiting. The narrative builds and builds and builds, and I think that he'll conquer the narrative at the end of the day. Maybe being away from home is going to help him a little bit. Maybe get him in that playoffs atmosphere, because all of his starts have been at home this year, for the postseason at least. So I kind of like him away from home here, get change up the routine a little bit. I don't know if you saw this, but when they pulled in like the first game before game 3, he was already flicking off fans and stuff. It was obviously joking, but he was flicking off fans and stuff going in there and stuff. So I think he's comfortable, and I think he'll have a good start here today. Syndergaard, I'm less confident about, obviously. And on top of Verlander, I think having a good start, I think Dusty's going to have a shorter leash. I think that, signs of trouble, Verlander will be out of there rather quickly. The bullpen obviously has been great for Dusty this postseason and this series in particular. And I just ultimately have faith in the Astros being able to get this game. Now, this ultimately could be the last game the Phillies win, though, and I can make cases both ways, because I think the Astros, the thing that baseball would love is that the Phillies win this game. They go to Houston. Framber wins game 6 for the Astros, and then game 7 in Houston, Ranger Suarez versus who would it be? Christian Javier on like 3 days rest, or 3 or 4 days rest. Maybe Lance McCullers again. That makes you not feel great. But I personally think the Astros win the rest of the games in the series, and I've said this before, and it's coming to bite me in the ass. So Houston -1. I got a -119 on it, and I did not hate the team total over 3.5 again, but it was at -145. But now that I'm saying it out loud, I kind of, you mentioned another team total earlier in the show that I might just string together in a parlay. Astros team total over 3.5, Kraken team total over 2.5. Something that interests people.
Yeah, I fear expecting anything more than 4 innings from Verlander. I was shocked at this number. I thought that the Astros first 3 innings -0.5 would be a big number. By big, I thought +145, +150. It's just +120. That surprises me. It really surprises me. But I feel like Verlander's going to mow him down through 3 innings. And I think Syndergaard is vulnerable. What are your thoughts on Noah Syndergaard?
Yeah, it's tough to say because he's pitched well in the postseason. Like, you can't really knock his postseason appearances. But I think obviously this one's a little different. The Astros are obviously the best team in baseball, in my opinion. And the short leash on Noah Syndergaard obviously is going to be a key factor here. I think something that's, maybe not indicated in the numbers as much, but I think that this Phillies bullpen is starting to show that fatigue a little bit. Jose Alvarado comes in, doesn't do his thing last night. Are we going to see him again tonight? I don't know. Obviously, they used Bilotti, I believe it was, so avoided using some of the bigger arms, but I think the bullpen's kind of faltering as well. So I like the Astros here. Team total, like I mentioned, 3.5. I looked at Baseball Savant just now. 37 plate appearances against for Noah Syndergaard. 188 batting average, pretty good there. 66 for Verlander, a 217 average for him. Or for them, I should say.
I think that Verlander mows down his first trip through the lineup. The question is, can they get to Syndergaard?
I think they do. It's tough for the Astros. Obviously, Phillies is Bryce Harper. Who the hell is the World Series MVP for the Astros right now? I don't know. It's a tough decision. Maybe it's Kyle Tucker. But my hopes is Alex Bregman.
Well, I want so badly to take the Astros first 3 -0.5. But I don't know if it's enough risk reward.
You're getting a -120, you said?
Plus 120.
I would do it. If you're getting plus 120, if plus money is always the indicator for me to take it personally. If it's a -120, I'd be much more hesitant. But plus 120, I feel like, personally, whenever I have plus money, I feel like I'm free rolling, which, maybe that's a bad habit, but
I thought I would get like plus 140, 145 for it. Matty Ice says Astros first 5 -0.5 will be on his card. And
Framber would be interesting.
Coin saying Framber Valdez in a possible closeout game.
I love him, so I would love to see that. A pitcher hasn't won it in a while. I mean, David Price should have won it in 2018, but Steven Pierce, kind of cock blocked him there. It's tough for one to win, but I like, like I said, I like the Astros. So, and we have other things to talk about today. So,
Johnny Gunn says this game could be tied going into the fourth. That's the problem. I just don't think the risk reward is enough. It isn't. Why did they pull Syndergaard after 3 innings against Atlanta on October 15th?
I just didn't want to see him again. Probably the same situation tonight as well. And I don't believe in the Phillies. Like, they've been great. They've been amazing. I still have my doubts and my questions about the Phillies bullpen for an extended period of time. They were used a lot last night. Let's see it today.
See, I would like to. It's too bad the Phillies aren't on the road because the only option would be to take first team to score. And I'm not going to do that at -175. So I don't think that plus 120 is enough risk reward. Noli No says he's not stretched out. Hasn't thrown more than 35 since October 1st. Okay. I'm not going to bet. It's just not enough. A 0-0 after 3 innings is such a possibility here. Why don't you talk about that first 5 total, and what do you think about the full game total as well?
I think you can only lean over, personally. Noah's, again, questionable to say the least, and we've seen what Verlander's done all postseason as well, or in the World Series, I should say specifically. It's just scary. 3.5, a low number. I've always been a little scared off by the 3.5s. I got screwed by the 3.5 last night. Not really. I mean, the first 5 inning, cashed over pretty comfortably in the 5th inning, but I just lean over here. I'm not making the bet official here. The only thing I'm rolling with is Astros -1. Maybe learning my lesson from last night. But I would just lean over just with the lack of faith of both of these pitchers.
Noli knows looking at the full game under cash.
I would agree or tend to side there. First 5 over, full game under.
Know something I've answered every question that is I've tried that you've asked. But when you call us horsey cappers, I'm not going to answer it. When Jose says shooty hoops, we don't talk basketball with him. So
sticky puck also.
Yeah, fuck. It sucks. I just can't eat the juice at -160. I felt, it's a little. I mean, I should never compare myself to Ted Williams, but I need to have a 4% ROI this year. And I was at
Teddy ball game.
I was at 4.05% before I cashed last night on Astros first 5. I'm at 4.22%.
So now you're going to sit out? You're just going to be like, fuck Ted Williams. You're going to sit out? Ted Williams played.
I'll bet. I just I have one plan.
I'll bet it. Fine.
I have one edge. I feel the edge is that Verlander is, even with getting touched in 2 or 3 starts, he is better than Noah Syndergaard. That's my edge. How do you take advantage of that edge when the market knows it's the biggest edge on the board? I just think this is asking too much of Syndergaard. Do you think this is asking too much of Syndergaard to come in Game 5 of the World Series and start?
I mean, he's been pitching. Noli said he's not stretched out, but I think if they wanted him to go 5, he would go 5. It's just they're being super cautious because they know he's not the best. You know, if he's going, like, if he went 3 shutty, I wouldn't be surprised if he went out there for a 4th. But they're just towing that line. They're just a little scared. I think Rob Thompson just doesn't want to get fucked by Noah Syndergaard, essentially. At the end of the day. Doesn't want to get wined and dined by him. Trust the bullpen a little more. The bullpen's got him this far. So, I don't know. Like I said, I'm expecting 3 innings from Syndergaard and then whoever they've gotten long relief after. Are we going to see Kyle Gibson? Is he even on the World Series roster? Is he still alive? I don't know. But I'm just going to be interested to see how the bullpen cooperates and how the bullpen goes here, because it's going to be a lot of them tonight, I think. We'll see Sir Anthony. We'll see Zach Eflin. We'll see all those guys. And I don't know. They pitch well, but for how long? How long are they going to continue to pitch well?
Yeah, I will have no bet on this game. Astros -1 at -119 for old Jose. 1 hole Bouquet. You're staying off the total, only making 1 bet on the game?
Accurate. 23 and 22 up. I think it was up 1.79 units on the postseason. So I can't complain about how the postseason's gone. It just, it's sometimes a little boring. And sometimes I feel like Zach Wilson just get tired of throwing away the football. Maybe you want to throw it into the Patriots' hands every once in a while. So sometimes I'll just fuck up and make stupid bets. But I just got to stay consistent and just keep betting -1. Houston -1. Houston money line. I think they're going to win the World Series. So just keep riding. If I go broke doing it, I go broke.
Bo Jackson expecting Verlander to be 6-2 in the postseason this evening. All right. I think I have enough action today. I have less than I expected. I am focusing on my energy after our Cappers Contest show on horses. But Jose has moved on the Astros -1 at -119. And I just simply don't think the risk reward's enough to turn this into a 3-inning game and have to be ahead after 3 innings.
Fair, sir.
All right. Great stuff. Great stuff. Keep up the good work in the postseason. And the Saturday game 6, you will be breaking down when?
Good question. We'll figure that out. I'm going to get, this is a rare weekend, and I know this has been saying this weird. I'm going to get a belligerent this weekend at an Oktoberfest kind of thing. So that video might be me hammered capping the card, but we all know what I'm going to be on. Houston -1, and hopefully a closeout game with hopefully my guy Framber Valdez on the bump.
And then he'll be in line to win MVP of the...
And cost me a lot of money, but it'll be okay. It'll be okay because I'll be happy to see him win. NBA.
Yes, NBA up next. It's been a tough season so far. Last season it got horrific, and then we had a monster second half and ended up 17 units up at the end of the year. But it's been a tough season thus far, and I don't think it's the cappings going wrong. I mean, the Hawks first quarter, Hawks win the whole game. We go 3-3 yesterday, down 0.15 units. I'm okay with it. I do trust the capping, so I'm okay with it, and I believe that we will succeed. But for transparency, honesty reasons, we're not looking good right now. 10-16. Ugly. I guess I didn't put my... How did I not put my units? Oh, there.
You did not. You did not, but I did the math, I think.
Okay. Thank you. 7.45 units. Ugly, but let's get back to work here and build, because these are a couple very interesting basketball games that I think we can make money on. So let's get to work. We start at 7 p.m. Eastern. Don't forget, Capper's contest show in 29 minutes. Rob Free says the question here is, can the Warriors rebound the basketball? There's Ricky Levine in the house. Tori Coker, great to see you guys. Golden State Warriors 3-5, 0-4 on the road. At the Orlando Magic 1-7, 1-1 at home. We're at the Amway Center in Orlando, Florida. The Warriors' pace has slowed. They were playing very fast to start the year. Overall, though, 103.77 possessions a game, while the Magic are playing at 99.56 possessions a game. Let's move over to the line history here in this one. Over here we have these Warriors opening up as 8-point favorites. They are now 9-point favorites. For a team that is 2-6 against the spread and 0-4 on the road straight up, they're asking you to eat 9 points. That's a lot. And I know this is an angry group. From a total perspective, it opened up at 226.5. It's now at 226, a slight drop to the under. AJ looking at Paolo Banchero, double. Johnny Gunn says, I capped this game to stay well under. Every which I called the numbers under 226. Spenny Pennybomb's looking at Orlando +9. D. Jenkins, my man, thank you for doing that and hope you are good. Joe Yerkowitz says Warriors and Thunder against the spread for him. Stimmy is on the over. Let's take a look at where the cash lies in this one. We have 16,909 tickets in. 72% of the tickets and 92% of the cash on the Warriors, expecting them to bounce back. 65% of the tickets and 86% cash on the over. Warriors coming off their third straight loss, 116-109 at Miami on Tuesday. They've lost 3 in a row to begin this 5-game road trip. Yet to win on the road this year. Curry finished with a triple dub, 23, 13, and 13. Magic coming off their second straight loss, 7th in 8 games to start the season. 116-108 at Oklahoma City on Tuesday night. Jalen Suggs came back. He played 28 minutes off the bench, 9 points and 4 assists. That's going to help this squad. They've been playing without Cole Anthony, Markelle Fultz, Gary Harris, Jonathan Isaac, and Mo Wagner. And they just lost Terrence Ross. I don't know how they can go shot for shot with an angry Warrior squad. I really don't. G. Martinez says Warriors second team plus minus is so bad. We touched on that about a week ago. Because even Jordan Poole's numbers were terrible, but not to the extent of some of those bench players were horrible plus minus numbers. Let's take a look at what we'd be dealing with if we tried to cut it down, because we know this is an angry Warriors team that's going to come out firing. Pinnacle has moved this to 9.5. This opened up so it's a 1.5 move. Let's go to first quarter here. First quarter, we're talking about 3 points. I've always made the rule 2.5. But everyone talking about the third quarter Warriors. This is different to me, and I'm more with Tori here. They're a different squad than they were last year. They're not dominating teams in the third quarter because they're not relaxed. They haven't won on the road. They're sitting here with a 3-5 record. Last year, they were relaxed. They'd go down. They'd be like, everything's fine. We're a winning basketball team. We're going to win the NBA championship. This year, there is a little bit of concern. I think we move on the Warriors early. I think they come in here as an angry group and deliver the goods early. Early and often. I think this is a Warriors first quarter and first half. 0-3 to start out this road trip. Rob Free says, born and raised Warrior fan here. We haven't won in Orlando since 2017. 4 straight outright losses to the Magic down here. So how are you betting it, Rob? Because the way I see this, and I know that everybody caps differently. And I prefer to cap on the psychological side of things if it correlates with the sharp action. That's when I win. And here, this Warriors team is not going to continue losing on the road. And they've sat here so angry about their situation. And I think they show out against Orlando here. And I think they show it early. And I think there's possible backdoor covers for the Magic. And that's about it. So I'm locked in. I'm going to take the Warriors first quarter -3, first half -5.5. I think they put their foot on the gas and they don't let go. Coin saying Warriors -9.5, starting to feel comfortable with my 8. Saturated likes the first quarter look. I like the first quarter look better than the first half look. But I'm going to take them both. All right, I'm in business. I'm in action. Let's move on to the second game on the board. 8 p.m. Eastern. Denver Nuggets 4-3, 1-3 on the road at the Oklahoma City Thunder. Let's see what Rob's doing. Says depends if Clay plays. Clay sits, the number will be down. Well, yes, that's extremely important. Let me just pull up. Let's stay over with the Warriors game if you don't mind, because what Rob Free is talking about is extremely important. So let's just go into. Not that I think. The only reason why it needs to be discussed is because you'll get a much better number after it's moved 1.5 points. Let's see what the most recent information is regarding this. He's not even on the report right now. All right. I'm sticking with it. Okay, let's move on to Nuggets, Oklahoma City Thunder, Paycom Center, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Denver playing at 101.14 possessions a game, while Oklahoma playing at 102.48 possessions a game. We'll start with the line history here in Nuggets Thunder. Here we go. We have the Nuggets opening up at -6. They're now -6.5. From a totals perspective, it opened up at 229. It is now 228.5. Go over to the cash flow. 13,240 tickets in. 51% of tickets, 75% of cash on the Thunder. Then you have 36% of tickets and 77% cash on the under. It does seem like a high total for these two teams. They're not playing at an alarming pace. The Nuggets coming off their two-game winning streak snapped in a 121-110 loss at the Lakers on Sunday. Michael Porter Jr. hitting 48.9% from 3. Believes he will shoot 50% this year. He shot 41.9 through his first 3 years. They're expecting to get Bones Highland back. He missed Sunday's game with a hip strain. He was a full participant in Tuesday's practice. Denver just 1-3 on the road. Pretty interesting that the Nuggets and the Warriors combined are 1-7 on the road. On the road, the Nuggets defense has been absolutely horrific, allowing 125 points per game. Thunder coming off their 4th straight win, 116-108 at home over Orlando on Tuesday night. Shea, 31.5 points, 6.8 assists, 4.8 boards, 2.5 steals, 1.3 blocks per game. This guy's playing very, very well. And their defense at home this season, 104.4 defensive rating. Impressive. That's the league's best defense at home. They get Josh Giddey back. They didn't have Jalen Williams in that first matchup. Von Polo says Thunder all day. And Mike M looking at the under in the Warriors game says Golden State's lost 9 in a row to the Southeast, not covered the spread as road faves in 9, and lost 6 first halves in a row as a road favorite. You know something. Thank you. You're a good guy. That's funny. Eddie saying, yeah, Gilgeous-Alexander playing very well. Spenny looking at a Giddey double-double. And Piker says, beware of the public dog. When I look at whether it's a public dog, I look at whether the tickets are on that dog, and they're not here, 51%. But you're right, the public dog gets touched. But Piker, when the tickets are 49%, 51%, do you feel like it's a public dog? Because I don't. LJ's on Shea over 2.5 steals. He had 3 steals in every game. Remember, LJ gave us the OG Anunoby 2+ steals, and he had 5 yesterday. I agree with the under here. That's what I want to bet. You have the Thunder playing excellent home defense, and you have the Nuggets playing atrocious road defense. And now they've been off since Sunday. You don't think that's come up over the last 3 days? That they're not playing any defense on the road? I think it's come up. I think this game goes under. I think that's the angle I trust the most here. I also like Piker says, in this case, I do. Thunder shouldn't be anywhere close to the midpoint on tickets. I don't know why that would be, though. The Thunder have won 4 straight games, and everybody just saw the Nuggets lose to the Lake Show. So, Saturated says, OKC has been a public dog for 2 years. This Nuggets team is an angry group. So I can understand them stepping up here, but Oklahoma City believes in themselves. So I don't see why we wouldn't. I guess the interesting situation here is you have sharp money coming in on the Thunder, and it's moved from 6 to 6.5. Let's see what it's done on. Let's just take a look at a couple more books, see what Bookmaker's done. Same thing. I'm comfortable here. I am on the under 228.5, and that's what I will be betting. I'm going to be on Warriors first quarter, Warriors first half, and the under 228.5. That's the plan. That's the plan. That's the plan with the NBA card. Let's review all action here. We have the Cappers contest show in 16 minutes. Coming off a nice winning day yesterday. We lost 0.1 units in college football, and we lost 0.15 units in NBA. But we cashed nicely with the Penguins first period and cashed nicely with the Astros first 5 -105, which gave us a healthy winning day. Gogster moved on Detroit first period and full game. I would like to do the same thing. Not double up, but I'm just hesitant and I'm going to look into it more. Ron Crawford gave us the Vegas spreadsheet play of the day for the Golden Knights. Gogster's on no goal first 10 minutes at +135. I'm on Carolina Tampa first period under 1.5. Gogster's on no goal first 10 minutes at +120 in Boston, New York Rangers. I'm going to be on. I'm very interested in the Rangers here, and I think I might leave the under alone. But I'm very interested in the New York Rangers. Then Gogster's on a triple up with the Kraken. Team total over 2.5 in regulation. Seattle first period at +130. Seattle money line at +150. Gogster's on the under 6 in Islanders Blues. We stayed off Habs Jets. I'm on the Kings -1. I'm on the Flames -1. Gogster's on both teams to score at +120. Oh, he's also on both teams to score first period at +140 in Nashville, Calgary. Devils, Edmonton, both teams to score first period for Gogster at +120. Gogster first period. And then Stars, Coyotes, nothing. Ducks, Canucks, nothing. Panthers, Sharks, nothing. In the Thursday nighter, Gogster gave us Damian Pierce over 2.5 receptions, over 63.5 rush yards, and over 15.5 rush attempts. And LJ from H-Town gave us Miles Sanders over 81.5 rush yards. Miles Sanders anytime touchdown plus 100. Davis Mills under 207.5 pass yards minus 126. And Hassan Reddick over a half sack at plus 122. In college football, I'm on Rice first half minus 2.5. And I'm on App State minus 3. Then Jose's on the Astros minus 1. I'm on the Warriors first quarter and first half. And Denver, Oklahoma under 228.5. There you go. Yes, no, something I do, but I don't do it as well. So asking if I ever go over 1 unit in a bet, I don't do it as well as I used to. Before I started doing this publicly, I would really hammer situations where I thought I had an edge. My quantity of action went up so much when I started doing this publicly, and it's only been slowly dropping, which has been good and helpful. So, but yes, I have been doing it. I've been going, well, in NHL is a little different, but in MLB, you can go first 5 in full game. In NBA, you can go first half full game to, have 2 units on a game or do the trifecta. But for me, I've been hitting plays for 2 units or 1.5 units or 2 units. I've been going heavier than that. But I do think it's something that should be done. Jose, my friend.
We have 13 minutes until the Cappers contest.
Okay, 13 minutes till the Cappers contest. Thank you guys all. Sorry I was struggling so much today in the show. Thank you guys for being so patient with me, man.
Don't forget to DM Jimmy if you open an account on Bet Online.
Yeah, please do. If you open up a new account on Bet Online, that would help us very much. Thank you, Jarek. Again, I apologize for the God, I was struggling. I did not expect to be struggling.
Well, don't worry. We only have another hour-long show coming up here in about 12 minutes, everyone.
Yes. AJ, Tori Coker, Jarek White, Rem Most, Piker, Know Something, LJ, Ed Searfoss, Cashman 19, Saturated, Eddie Euler, Bo Jackson, Mike M, Sammy Calmer. Thank you guys all so much for the support. Piker, Spenny Penny Bombs, Von Polo, Jay Peasy, Johnny Guns.
Hope to see everyone tomorrow for the Breeders' Cup live stream. No betting with the bag. Breeders' Cup live stream tomorrow. I don't know what I'm going to do with myself tomorrow. I'll probably jump on the Breeders' Cup live stream, chat ball, figure out more about the Red Wings versus the Avalanche, all that good stuff.
Yeah, you need to call some races for sure.
Joe Sakic, huh? Pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty good. No lips. No lips.
Burnaby Joe, man, he's
good. It's funny how all these players are just like, fuck it. I'll just be the general manager for these teams now. Fuck it.
No, why not?
Fuck it. Scotty Bowman looks like a general manager. That's all. Those are all my thoughts. Let's go fucking relax before this contest.
Thank you guys so much for your support. We will see you tomorrow for the big horse racing show and on Saturday. But we also have Cappers contest in 11 minutes. Eddie Euler says Yzerman or Sakic, who is better? That is as difficult as the questions I've ever been asked. And I don't think it's fair to either of those.
I think it's Stevie Y.
It's not fair to either of those spectacular hockey players to give
it's Stevie Y. Look at the rings, bro. Look at the rings. I don't know how many have they won.
I cannot answer that one. That's too hard. That's the hardest question I've ever been asked in my entire life. They're two of my favorite players in history. Nancy says Kraken might help. I got to figure something out.
Just remember, your family's going to be gone starting tomorrow.
Yeah, it's going to be good. It's going to be good. But I'm in rough shape. I'll see you guys at Cappers Contest Show. Jose, can you let us out of here? I'm in rough shape.
Hey, guys, he's in rough shape. Don't forget that. He's going to be in better shape in about 10 minutes for our lovely Cappers Contest Show. But don't forget, everyone, when you're feeling down, you don't know what to do, just go to your bookmaker and leche that motherfucker.